Hey, welcome to another Game Fan stream. We are going to be playing a super old. Well, it's not super old. It's not that many years old, but it's a remake of a really old game. I guess this came out in 2021, but the original game, God, a long time ago. Was it 2003? The original Geneforge? I don't know.
Should be a fun experience, getting back to it and recalling all the memories.
But in the before that, we've got Reaper Book 1.
Yes.
Funding now on
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo, or as my mother says, Indiegogo.
Please do follow the link to see where you can back and get your book, as you will not be able to find it on Indiegogo unless you search it or have a link already.
Yeah, Trisha has the prestige of being shadow banned. Oh,
Apparently.
a bad girl. Oh,
Sure back.
naughty, naughty. Oh.
I'm making books about fantasy. But yes, I do recommend that you check out Reaper. The series is going to be very fun to write and draw as I continue making it.
Anyway, time for this game to work.
Hopefully, yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I don't know what resolution to go with. I might try new resolutions. Click on that. Oh yeah, there we go. We might try out a couple resolutions. We'll see how this one looks. I guess it's better to cut off the top than the bottom. I want to just like chill. Why does it have to? Okay.
Professional streamers here. Don't mind us.
Wow. I mean, anyway, I love this. The redo of the art.
Oh, look at your sparkles.
I know.
It's so cool.
I like how the game is so poorly optimized that, like, if you shake this too much, it does start to, like, slow down and, like, skip frames. Like, you can see the balls jump around a little bit if you do it too much.
Oh, that's too much. I hate that.
Oh, on the start new game?
Yeah. The green, that is an ugly-ass effect.
Yeah.
The sparkles, it's like, yeah, sure, whatever, it's corny, but it's not really in the way. And then the green is, like, actually covering up the text.
I wonder... This doesn't seem like it would be one of those starting screens that has a Easter egg in it. Like, you can click somewhere and then, like, something will happen.
Yeah. If they, do that still.
Oh!
Oh, you can pop the bubbles, right?
You can pop them multiple times. You get, like, a ultra combo.
And then they bleed more bubbles. Cool.
This is the whole game.
Yeah, there's no other game. It's just popping bubbles.
This is very hard to keep up with this many bubbles, I must say.
Well, you're not gonna be able to pop them all if they keep on spawning in.
That sounds like you make a bad helldiver.
Alright, why don't we actually start the game?
I'm about to pop 50 bubbles.
Idle enjoyment! You got an achievement for that? My goodness.
Completionist.
Of course, yes. What do you think? There's a pop 100 bubbles? Speed running.
We've won, everybody. In any case, so I first played this game on the Macintosh.
Wow.
Jesus. Yeah, like the old, the blue in the back, Oopsies. So it was part of a 12-game pack with like a bubble popping game. There was a couple games. I think Wingnut was in that game pack. That's another game that I really enjoyed. That was like a top-down, you play as a plane or whatever. And I liked it a lot because my brother hated to have to drop bombs. So it was like shift to drop bombs or something. And he hated to have to hit shift while he was flying the plane around.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would have me drop the bombs.
Right.
Or I was like, oh, could I drop the bombs? And he was like, sure. And I was
It's
like, oh my
nice
god, we could
teamwork.
play at the same time. I was so excited. It was
It's
truly
just like double dash, but for a plane.
yeah. So yeah, that was a ton of fun, and the villains had the funny voice acting. It was good. But anyway, this is most certainly the first RPG I've played. Let me just like remove my distractions. And this is indeed a super fucking old RPG. This is a remake though, so I don't know.
A little bit more playable.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to see. Oh, okay, so let's start a new game, just so that you can kind of see how the game goes. Now, I like what they've done with the regular Shaper. That's what the sort of standard guys are called. His naming conventions are pretty bad, pretty lazy, pretty, like, not super well thought out. So the whole race as a whole are called Shapers, which is like, it's a name you get used to, but it does seem a bit odd. This is also called a Shaper. So to outsiders, you're supposed to be known as Shapers. But internally, these are just the Shapers, and then there are Guardians and Agents, or other classes within your social hierarchy. However, there's no name for the Empire. It's just like the Shapers the whole time. It's always referred to from the outsider perspective of just being the Shapers. He never really came up with like an Empire name. There is a world map, like the whole world has a name, and there's names for the other countries. But anyway, essentially how it works is you are from an empire of people who can create and shape life. So biopunk, but done in a fantasy setting, which is super unique. But at the same time, I haven't seen a lot of biopunk stuff exist. I know everyone always says BioShock. That is true. But it doesn't really go far enough. And BioShock is mostly just like a cynical take on libertarians. So it's like not really like, it doesn't really dive into the biopunk elements of it. They're just like, haha, all the libertarians would go on an island to get high and die. And that's like and it's like, see how weird these injections are? Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't really delve into like the complexities of like, adding and minusing things from life.
Right.
So anyway, the Shapers create minions, and then their focus is buffing magic to have their minions fight for them. They're very strong, as you should expect from a game that is that is the central class you're supposed to play as, basically. Now you have Guardians. These are not that good in the first game, but in the second game they're super strong, super strong. I don't know how they are in the remake. Maybe they're better now. In the beginning, they're better than the Shapers. I know because my brother got mad at the game because he couldn't beat it with the Shapers, and they switched to Guardian. And it's better in the beginning, but kind of worse later. Same thing with the Agents. So, Agents are strongest at regular magic, like shooting fireballs and stuff. They are second best at melee fighting, and the weakest at shaping, making minions. So, an example of what an agent might do is make some suicide minions that would rush in and attack, or minions she can't control that would wander around and shoot projectiles, or draw fire away from her, and then she would replace them often.
Sure.
Very experience inefficient, because if you kill something and you have a minion alive, the minion splits the experience with you. So for that reason alone, agents really don't function in the long run. Shapers do, but at the same time, if you decide to replace a minion, it's a huge setback, and there's a limited number of creatures in the world, so you could be increasing the difficulty for yourself by choosing poorly when you make a minion. Guardians, I think like a pretty normal thing to do is like have maximize your like melee skills, and then also have some minions that will come with you as like also like very few but strong minions, whereas I think agents would go for like a horde of shitty ones, and then shapers would go for a horde of really strong minions.
Sure.
So this is like who you're kind of supposed to play as. So I'm gonna start a new game, but then I'm gonna load a game after a while once you get the idea of like how the intro is, because I love the intro. The intro is like some of the first fantasy writing I've ever read.
Is that the name you're gonna go with?
Yeah, these are the default names. They're the same in every game. It's Dacro is the Guardian, who normally has like a very like Deus Vult kind of great helm and chainmail, which I thought was interesting because it sort of implies that the Shapers have like a less evolved sense of like heavy armor, because they're still using chainmail when it doesn't feel like we're in like the early medieval. But they never really go into that super well. I don't know if this guy's like, I don't know. I mean, he's making a whole game, so like his, there's gonna be stuff like lacking in certain areas. I guess like, the sort of like writing is
Sure, yeah.
where you might like his scene to scene writing is like really strong. This is, oh wow, they have it as a marquee instead of a text I can read. The Shapers are the oldest, most respected, most secretive, and most powerful of the magical sects. They have the power to create life. The Shapers can make new life forms from nothing but organic matter and pure magic. They can mold life to serve any purpose.
Hello, Mark S. and
Be it
Aura.
lice, outwork, or major warfare. The Shapers guard their secrets of their powers very closely. They learn these techniques without permission to court a speedy death. Hands of a guardian or an agent in the night. After years of work, study, and testing, you have finally been accepted into the Shapers. It is the greatest of honors. You spend your life advancing their secrets and learning their sects. I guess that is normal. First, you must complete your apprenticeship. You must spend 5 years out on a Shaper colony in a remote island watching their work and aiding their research. I kind of much prefer the old version of this, where it was just a thing like still that you could just look at the picture, but whatever. Okay, so you have a specially modified craft. You are sailing to go do your apprenticeship. You're sailing past a barred island. You cannot go to barred islands under punishment of death. A ship in the distance notices you, and you don't notice it. Your craft cries out in alarm, alerting you. The ship is of an unfamiliar style. It instantly fires a long spear at your craft. So it's a cannon that shoots spears. Hits your drake in the neck, and then your craft, I guess, sets the boat on fire. Yeah, and then as it dies, your craft pushes you to shore, and you grab onto some crumbling dock, barely conscious. Your craft slumps against the stone, dying. You're left alone, abandoned on a forbidden shore, marooned on Susia Island.
Sweet.
So,
Here we are.
here we are indeed.
You're so tiny.
Yeah. That's why I said I would probably have to like restart the game a couple times. I might want to do it in the monitor because it's so hard to see on the big screen. I don't know if there's any options to like zoom. Probably not, right? So I guess for now this is fine.
Is that
Christ,
a peace
that's
sign
tiny.
in the left?
Yes. So that means that I'm not in combat.
Okay.
Why, afraid of a filthy hippie made this game? Probably. The games get more soy-based as they go on. They start off like fairly strong, and then they get, just a little bit softer as it goes on, a little bit more soy enters the system.
Ah, I see. A little bit more. Why can't we all just be friends, man?
Yeah. So, you stagger off the dock, weakened to the point of collapse by your desperate swim here. After a few minutes, you manage to regain enough of your senses to look around. You are on the south coast of the mysterious island. However, apart from the fact that this isle was declared barred by your people, you know nothing about it. You wish you had already started your shaping training. Islands are generally barred because of a failed experiment in the presence of horrible rogue creations. Worrying. Fortunately, except for the lapping of the waves against the base of the dock, all is quiet. If you are going to be devoured, it won't be soon. However, if you were still stranded and desperately weak, as well. Fortunately, the beach stretches off to the east. Maybe you can find supplies and help. So, I don't know if this has been rewritten from the original, but these would be like the first fantasy texts I would really get influenced by. I did read The Hobbit before I played this game, I believe, but something about this game really pulled me in, and so it's probably where I have where I got a certain fondness for like biopunk elements and things. But apparently it's not like the biggest game that this guy has made. He's more known for the Avernum series, I believe. Where it's like a more standard RPG where you have a full party of like people that you customize. This is less less of that. You have a whole roster of minions. It's so weird to see the UI change after so many years of being the same, but normally there's a bunch of minions over in this corner in these 8 slots, but now there's a roster. I wonder if they're still the same max.
At some point we'll have to make our own RPG.
I would absolutely love to. There's an old ratty cloak on the ground in front of you. It looks like it's been there a while and it's not very clean. However, you're wet and cold enough to want it. To wear it, you'll have to first pick it up. Press the Get button, pictured above, or type G to select the cloak to get it. Okay. It's so weird to see cloaks not be purple, because for many years he was reusing the same cloak icon. Now there's a hand that is like the picking up hand. I don't see it though. I know it said G is also pick up stuff, but it's weird to not just click the thing on the UI. Okay. There's a tunnel to the north built into the side of the hill. You guess it is the storeroom or warehouse. Usually one is placed near the docks of settlement. The structure is crumbling. You guess that it's been abandoned at least a century, probably 2. After all these years, most of the goods inside are probably useless. You might still be able to scavenge something useful. Useful, I guess. I don't know. So what do we got? This is the dockside warehouse. What a satisfying noise. Love it.
Yeah.
Bones. Now, the other thing that makes me very kitschy and must take everything about this game is the fact that things don't respawn. So that means that you can't farm an infinite amount of money and you can't farm an infinite amount of experience. And I hate these things. I want all of the experience and levels. I would like to grind and make my character super, super strong. Unfortunately, this is not possible, so it makes me very, very overly focused on optimizing my character instead of RPing and stuff. So,
Right.
I would play the original to show what that was like, but it's just not cooperative with streaming. So I haven't been able to get the second game to run, and I'm at a more interesting part of the game where I'm just genociding everyone because all of them are filthy traitors. But interestingly enough, he's also remaking the second game.
And will it be good?
I don't know. It's never a good sign when someone adds black characters to a game. But I don't know. Maybe
Welcome to the chat, David.
Welcome, welcome. Maybe it's just some description that I didn't notice when I was younger, and they're just being faithful to the original. Well, I don't know. Okay, so I picked up a brass key from that. Oh, right, that's already in my pack. It's confusing. All right, taking money. Oh, it's so weird not having the pickup button. They mentioned the pickup button, but I don't know. Is it select to set an ability or... Oh, you don't... Andros doesn't have any abilities or items to select. Oof.
It's a lot of slots.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of maybe too many slots.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because you're going to get, like, a school of magic, and then you can just click on the school and pick the spell you want, and, like... Well, I don't know, maybe there's a shit ton of spells in the remake. There wasn't that many, though. The strongest buff spells I think I've ever seen in a game are in this game, other than, like, Haste in 5th edition, which is, like, strong. Oh, wow, they're giving me a canister at the beginning? That's kind of...
Sick.
Bonkers. Select a canister to use it. We're not even gonna... Alright. Inside this small chamber, you find several cylindrical containers. They look like canisters, each about 4 foot high. The sides are made of thick, carefully blown glass. Most of them have been broken, and the contents are long lost. One of them, however, is still intact. Inside, you see a glowing fluid. It swirls and moves about, seemingly under its own power. It looks like it is, in its own way, alive. It probably is. You have seen similar objects. The Shapers can store essence concoctions filled with life energy which can heal or energize those in need. This must be something like that. There is a sharp metal needle emerging from the top. If you let it poke the palm of your hand, the substance will emerge and energize you. Your weakened state, it seems hard to resist. That's not what it was originally. That sounds horrifying. Originally, it was thin glass on the top, and if you press your palm down on it, it would break the glass, and then the fluid you'd absorb the fluid, like using the power of your own magic. You could suck up the fluid.
Okay.
Impaling myself on a 4 foot tall... So this is to scale then. Like, this is actually how much fluid I'd be absorbing?
That's quite a lot, yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see how goddamn...
Also, welcome to chat, Look to Draw.
Oh, welcome. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see how goddamn huge that cylinder is, but like, yeah, that was not an effective zoom. I'll put it back.
Apologies, chat.
I'm a professional.
I know. Love to Draw says, "Oh, slots. I logged in and thought Trisha was saying sluts and was very confused."
A lot of sluts. Okay, I don't know if that's like super in frame, but it'll have to do. Yeah, you can see how big that is. That's it's 4 feet tall and wider than me. It looks like, and I'm about to suck up that much fluid. For reference, in the original game, they were like the size of normal like bottles of water. So that's a change. Anyway, what's this gonna do to me? Okay. So these, you find out later, right? But these are like banned, super evil, not allowed to use, will corrupt you and like make you mad with power canisters. So they don't... The Shapers don't want you to use them, and that's why the island is barred. It's barred because of the canisters, basically. There's more to it, but essentially you could sum it up to the canisters being basically like why the island is forbidden. So you're not supposed to be able to modify yourself like this and learn things. So you were suddenly struck by a dizzy spell. That's something in my writing I always like. I'm always questioning, right? It's like, can I call something a spell when it's not really a spell?
Welcome to the chat, Jamie.
Welcome. Because it's like, you know, there's actual magic now, so like... Anyway. You're struck by a dizzy spell, driving you to your knees. It's not caused by hunger or fear, but the effects of the strange substance in that canister. The essence-infused emerald goo didn't heal or revive you like you expected. It changed you. It soaked into your skin and rewrote some of your very being, making you stronger. A strange urge and instinct seizes you. You extend out your fingers and focus. Tiny trails of flame shoot out of them. Magic. Actual magic. What would have taken you years of training, you learned to do in an instant. It is exhilarating and at the same time utterly alien. You have no idea that your people could do something so wonderful. You feel a deep compulsion to find more of these canisters. Canisters are your main way to gain new abilities on Sushi Island. You can now cast Firebolt. So I think originally you started with Firebolt, and it was not very clear that you had it. And then when I discovered it, it was like, my brother was like, oh my god, now we can beat the whole game. We've done it. Because originally I think he was walking up to dangerous monsters and trying to stab them while he was like a squishy mage. And that's why he was like, Guardian's better. But
of course.
the path farther into the island is blocked by a thick stone door marked with the symbol of the Shapers. When you get close, your skin tingles. Magical complex protections are in place. You hear a soft, reassuring voice. Sushi Island has been barred by the Shapers. For more information, send a request to the council. Only full Shapers are allowed entry. Shaper qualities have been detected within you. You may pass. Please do not remove or interact with any... And the voice cuts out. Strange. So. Ooh, a ghost. What we got over here? A stick. Let's get the stick.
We'll stick it to them. David Myers says that had better be some magical liquid, otherwise it would add about 800 pounds of water weight.
Even worse, he said it's a thick fluid. So, it's like
You turn into Jello.
It's like it's 4 feet tall and looks to be like, you know, almost as wide. It's a very like wide canister, so it's probably like, I don't know, maybe let's say 2 feet wide. That's still a shit ton of fluid to just suck into your body, magical or no. Some magical Weight Watchers fluid. So, there's a shade standing in front of you. It is a hazy, insubstantial humanoid. It warps and twists in the light breeze. You suspect that a strong wind would tear it apart. It hovers in the air, staring at you, though you can't make out any features. You can clearly tell that it is watching you. Special encounters like this one will give you several options for things to say. Attack the shade. It dissolves. You're alone in the clearing. I don't know. Attacking it seems like the best thing to do to gain experience.
David says it's a little under 100 gallons at 4x2.
A small drink of 100 gallons. I don't understand what that change. That sounds so strange that you'd be absorbing just an impossible amount of fluid.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've made some progress. You should save the game. That's okay. F3 to quick save, F4 to load. That sounds wildly irresponsible, but alright. Having the quick save and quick load next to each other. Barracks for some guardians or agents. Trash everywhere. 2 chests left behind. I'll take all the stuff. Inventory system is much more similar to this guy's other games rather than Geneforge. Probably the other games have a better system. I don't know.
Jamie says lots of pop-up windows.
Oh yeah. So okay, once again you find you're not alone. There's a roamer just ahead watching you. A roamer is a creation. It is a creature invented and improved by your people for use as a scout or an attack dog. Since it is a creation, it should naturally be inclined to, or it should be naturally inclined to obey you. However, this creature isn't servile to you at all. It doesn't look hostile, it's just staring. It is an eerie feeling being watched by a creation. In this way, creations have always obeyed you mindlessly before. It is clear that whatever this island is, shapers have been here. However, if this isle is full of rogue creations, you may have a serious problem. And you do. So. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'll attack it. No, I want to use default attack firebolt. You gonna do it? Nice. Wow, he's so much stronger. I sense a problem. Wait, why can I only move that far?
Oh no, you're dead.
Yep. Mortally wounded. Your power drained, you fall to the ground. One of many threats of Susi Island has claimed you. Without you to intervene, the secrets and conspiracies on the island come to a head. Deadly forces pour out of this tiny island, and your people are forced to fight a devastating, terrible war. None of this matters to you, of course, because you are dead. Right. So,
thanks, Geneforge.
Anyway, let's load the most recent save, which is in 2022, and we'll try to figure out what the hell I was doing together. So I remember I had a quest to investigate an abandoned school. I see there's question marks on the map. Main school hall, servant mind. Okay, so...
Jamie says, well, that was grim. Yes. Yes, it was.
Speaking of grim... Trisha's got a Trisha's got a grim dark fantasy a book funding on India. Do link in description.
Buy my book.
Anyway, thanks, Jamie. Anyway,
Cool plug.
Anyway, these are another shaper creation. Oh, I guess I should talk about these. These are Fioras. They have a sprite in the original game that gets changed, I think, as early as the second game, and I'm still nostalgic for the sprite in the first game, even though they've had 5 of these games plus a remake. And I just can't get behind this design or the other remake of the design. I don't know.
It's never quite as good as the first, right?
Yeah. Anyway, this game has instead of just the creatures having a basic, breathe fire attack, they added all sorts of, mutagens, to the game. The game is called Geneforge 1 Mutagen, so they added a subtitle to the game.
Right.
So, it seems to me that the Fioras have a lot to them that's much stronger than the other creations, just from a cursory glance. And I can't remember why. Okay, so special abilities have no cooldown. Then he has Cone of Fire, so he has an AoE that he can use every turn. That's a single target, which does less than the AoE. That's a bit odd. Oh, interesting. Oh, he doesn't have that ability. That's he deals damage to himself, but deals more damage. That's a very agent kind of thing, because you'd want expendable creatures. Innate haste. This character always acts faster as if hasted. Each attack has a chance of using fewer action points. Hasting this character makes it faster still. Okay, so that's super strong. So you have the chance to get 2 attacks. Yeah, that's busted strong. So hopefully I'll stick with these creations for a long time, because they do suck up experience from existing, right? So if I end up replacing them, the experience that they gained could have been going to a better creation, but, they didn't. Okay. And let's look at the creations you can have in the game. So the thing we got killed by was a roamer. They breathe acid balls. And then Thods, which when the term thought came out, all I could think of was these guys. I still kind of think of Thods when I think of thoughts. It's a great name, probably because you're not going to say it out loud. You're just going to read it on the page, and it looks good on the page. They didn't used to look like this. They used to look like basically just Bigfoot, like straight up Bigfoot. Now they're like cat people, which is very odd. They can't talk or anything. They don't have any intelligence. So giving them like...
Love to Draw says, "Be gone!"
I didn't even think they had fingers. I assumed they just had like big clubs on their hands because they can't do anything besides punch. So it's very odd to see them depicted like this. But I suppose like...
Yeah, it looks like some DeviantArt version.
I wonder what their special... Oh, charge. You can leap to target. It's interesting. Stunning bash? Oh, it is... interesting. More criticals. Each attack has an extra 25% chance of being critical. Interesting. Riposte. 20% chance of riposting enemy melee attacks. So, fun story. The second game, it's super broken to be a guardian because they added that ability. They added a chance to parry an attack. The parrying against melee attacks, you have a chance to just like get a free like weak hit against them with the parry. But you can also parry arrows, javelins, like any kind of projectile like that. But you can also parry like balls of acid and fire, which is, you know, odd.
A little bit.
So it just adds this chance of taking no damage to everything. It seems like he's balanced it a bit more, making this riposte ability only work on melee attacks. I wonder if I look at... So quick action is the other ability they added to the second game, which made Guardians really strong. It gives you a chance to hit twice. In this game, it looks like each point gives you 4% chance of your weapon attack using fewer action points. So probably less strong. It was probably too strong in the second game, but it does make playing like a Deus Vult Crusader super funny.
I can imagine, yeah.
You.
What?
Trisha just distracted by dog. Anyway, leadership is kind of important for like story stuff. Like it's your persuasion skill. It's like the Shaper's innate ability to control people's minds. Yeah. And also, I think it affects your ability to like control creatures. Oh yeah, increases your creature's mental resistance by 2%. Seems incredibly low for how much effect it used to give. I don't know how much it used to give, but it used to feel like if you had high leadership, it benefited you quite a bit. Trisha cursing me with her yawns.
Sorry, don't look at me.
I could just hear you yawning.
Yeah.
32-ounce stainless water bottle ASMR. How do you know it's 32 ounces? Is it 32 ounces?
What if you could just accurately guess how big a water bottle is by just listening to it?
It's the biggest size they had, so.
One intelligence run win?
I don't think you can even start with one intelligence, but it doesn't really matter for Guardians, because they're basically a melee guy.
Hey, Nova, welcome to the chat.
So other creations that you can't see the full picture of, these guys, the Vlishes, are like...
David says, I have a 32 ounce, and it makes the exact same tone when I set it down.
Ah, okay.
That is some good tisms you got there.
Artilla, they have poison, right? I don't know what the mutagens are in this game. Poison spray? What's their regular attack? Oh, it's a cone attack, got it. Flash shield. They can shield allies? That's bizarre. They have a buff spell? That's so weird. Improved duration. All statuses 30% longer, and then innate haste. Innate haste seems really good. I know Artillas were a lot cheaper than Fioras originally. Is that still true? No, they're more expensive by like 1 point. Thods are cheaper, or same cost, I guess. They look terrible. I would never use them. They're so horrifically ugly. Also, knowing that they'd be sucking up some of my experience is unacceptable. Battle Beta and Battle Alpha used to look a lot cooler than this. Now they're like dudes in loincloths, which is bizarre. I don't know why that direction was taken, but you know. The Claw Bugs, the Scorpion guys, used to be super strong because they would have 10 action points, and it costs 5 action points to attack. So you move them into melee, you get 1 attack as normal, because you know three movement points is probably enough to get into a melee. And then the next melee round, they can attack twice. So, and then the second level of them, I think, starts with 12. So they're like faster than other creations by a lot. These guys paralyze when they hit with their tail. They look super stupid. I don't know how well you can see how stupid they look, but they do look very stupid. They walk on their hands, and they don't have any legs, and they have like a giant whipping tail that goes over their head.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah, the Vlishas look even uglier. The different variants of them do different things, but I think it's like they lower the action points of what they hit, and then in their melee attack poisons. But if they're melee attacking, they're probably going to die because they have like no health. They're very squishy. Roamers, Acid Breath. The Drakes are just like dragons instead of velociraptors, but same general school. Yeah, it's funny. I guess it feels like there's a lot more creations, but I suppose there's not. I know there's Ornks. That's like a secret creation you can learn. Those are like the livestock in this game. So this guy, man, they finally drew art for how ugly the servant mines are, and that does fit. That does seem to be about as ugly as they are. These are supposed to be computers, essentially. Adam's never played Fallout?
I don't know if that was calling back to the one intelligence run comment.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Oh yeah, in Fallout 2, if you have 1 intelligence, you can be raped by one of the main story quests. Exciting. Possibly a little unreasonable, but you know. Anyway, you have to be a female character though.
Oh yeah. I guess they see an unintelligent male character as like a Lenny.
I don't know.
Want to try to rape that guy.
Well, you can get raped as a man by a super mutant fist fucks you if you lose at arm wrestling to him. Why did they? Like it's like why did they do this? I have no idea.
I guess they thought it was oh so funny and edgy.
That's why you look up a guide so you don't get fist raped by.
How to not get fist fucked.
By a super mutant. Well, it's how you get the best fist weapon or whatever. I was doing like melee or something. Yeah, everyone like jerks off about how great Fallout 2 was, but man, the amount of fourth wall breaking in that game and times you can be raped is a non-zero factor, and both should be 0.
Yeah. I enjoyed Fallout 3, so no need to go backwards.
I mean, the gameplay is great. Like the combat is pretty cool. I love the that sniper machine gun, whatever it's called. It's like I can't remember what it's called, but super satisfying to like blast someone from a million miles away with a full auto sniper that's super accurate. Balance, don't talk to me about balance, it's fine. So these are computers that are left in place and like fed nutrient paste and okay. Yeah, I probably already did all these dialogue things, right? So I was sent by the person who gave those orders? I do not believe you. Please leave me. You're still functional. How is this possible? I endured these long years trusting the skill of the shapers who crafted me. They fed me well before they left. I should be able to live for a century yet without difficulty. This is much longer than you thought these creatures could live. What do you eat? We're going to find some of the solution. Interesting. Okay. So those function as like shitty computers. Okay, these are creations shackled. Oh, these are look like these are supposed to be the serviles, like the humanoid servant things. So yeah, servant minds I find to be like kind of stoop, but anyway, I guess he's giving some meager amount of like mystery as to what happened on the island and like how it was shut down. But I don't think I'm positive he doesn't give anything like super revolutionary. He just kind of. But at the end of the dungeon, you're supposed to be getting information from him, and I've got whatever the game kind of expects you to get, but it's nothing super duper revolutionary. I've also probably checked this whole school before I mean, I assume I would have, right?
Seems like something you would or should have done.
Although, I thought stuff stayed open after you opened it. Okay, yeah. So I did not check the whole school.
Alrighty. Well, we can do that now.
Got shoes in there. Yeah, stuff stays open once you open it, so it's all marked.
Good. Makes things way less confusing.
At no point was I referring to rape. Well, you said Fallout and 1 intelligence. That's what happens in Fallout with 1 intelligence. That and you can't speak. It just, everything is like meme-y, like ooga booga. I think like a lot of I think like a lot of nerds have a big fixation on like, not that intelligence isn't important, but almost like an insecure fixation on intelligence. I don't know how to describe it, but in Fallout 2, if your intelligence is too high, you break the fourth wall with your dialogue options. And it also increases the amount of experience you gain. And when I realized there was random encounters and it wasn't like other isometric RPGs I played, I wanted to like lower my intelligence because I was like, well, I enjoy the combat, so I'm going to do a lot of combat and I don't want to like over level myself. So I'll drop my intelligence to 1 because I don't want any fourth wall breaking. And then it makes you non-verbal where you can't... Oh, fuck. Don't go over there. I don't know, just jump into combat here? Well, I don't want to go first, so... Are you sure you want to end this character's turn? Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Jamie says, 1 intelligence runs refers to the wacky things your character says while dumb. It's practically a running gag in the series.
Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, nice. That's like a decent amount of damage. Can I... hit with this? No. Okay. No,
Oh, David Myers is hitting us with some of the jokes. He says, why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're too good at it.
Yeah. So do you not need any... Oh no, you do need some action points to attack. Alright. Fight 1. So I didn't check this place very well, because there's still stuff alive.
Why do elephants paint the balls red? So they can hide in apple trees. The plot thickens.
Indeed.
What is the loudest sound in the savannah? A giraffe eating apples.
Oh, yeah. They're elephant balls? Gotcha. So that's 4 experience each. What does it take to level up? Level 4. Let's see. Oh, experience, okay. 4,800. So 4 experience is like absolutely nothing. Yeah, in Fallout, there's like a bunch of quests you can't do because you can't talk. A bunch of options in quests you can't take. They spent a lot of like they were like, oh man, the game was so rushed. If only we had more time. And it's like, you could have done. You could have taken out the one intelligence dialogue and done none of it. Also, all the fourth wall breaking you could take out. And that would give you some more time.
Especially nowadays, the whole meta humor thing is really overdone.
Yeah, fourth wall breaking is like so cringy, it's painful. And like, if your intelligence gets too high, it does it. Like,
if you're gonna do something like that in a game, it should really be very rare, so that it's not so jarring.
I don't mind when like a magic item is like a reference to something.
Sure.
But if there's no magic items that are not references to things,
yeah, that would be unbelievably horrible.
There's just like a certain type of like consumer that's like that soy jack meme where it's like,
I remember this.
It's like, man, you gotta just not. So that's Shaper equipment. It looks like Shaper equipment. And in the second game, there's this merchant who wants to buy it. And it's like a collectible. But, it's not in this game. Oh, I guess you guys can't see the entirety of the bottom bar, which I guess doesn't really matter, but like, here. Let's scoop. Oh, fuck. Is that too far? Oh, I'm not even moving it. Okay. There it is. I moved something else in the background. Much better. There's a shield on the ground too. Raw Bone's possessions are stored in this box. Who the fuck was Raw Bone? The rogue creature scavenged everything it could. Stolen from Valkyrie. Oh, what was in the book? Okay. And then there's a shield on the ground. Shield sells for money, I assume. So I'll take that too. Oh, I can't fit it. Okay. Put it back on the ground.
David, at this point in time, are you just like reading off jokes that you asked like Chat GPT to write for you? None of this is like, there is no punchline. It's just sentences in a weird, like, it should be a joke manner.
Okay. Tunic. Okay, so Tunic takes this slot. So don't need that. Okay, so I'll just leave the shield on the ground, and I'll come back and sell the shield when I need monies, I guess. Or I'll just forget it's here. One of the two. So I guess it's time to go back over here. Okay, well, you know what? We've done so much. Let's save. I guess... I'll save here? Yeah, in the middle. I guess. I wish they had more save slots. Well, they're going to remake the game, but they keep the same terrible save save infrastructure thing. Oh god, combat? Man, there's so many wandering things around this school. I guess I'll try and hit it with the...
Kill.
Some pretty decent damage. What does it take to attack in this game? It takes, like, nothing to attack, I guess? Oh, I think my difficulty is set so that I don't have friendly fire. I don't know if I'm, like, close enough to... Oh, you can't right-click to cancel anymore. You have to hit escape, which is a nightmare.
David says, no, I spent the day with my nephew telling jokes. He had a lot of animal jokes for some reason.
Sounds like a kid.
You gotta get him some better joke books.
Kids are cute with their jokes and magic tricks and stuff.
Lucky Joe says, why wasn't the elephant allowed in the pool? He forgot his trunks. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Now that's a good joke.
Yeah.
You can tell because it filled the room with laughter.
Yes. So, this is Susia Island, and it's cut off for me, too. Oh, I can scroll? Why? Why do they make this scrollable?
Such a tiny scroll, too.
Oh, it's not just scrollable, it's thisable.
It's movable.
But we're not going to have stuff over here, are we?
Oh.
Okay, well, man, they make the desert seem, like, infinite in this game, but I can't even see it. It would be on the right side of the island, not here. So I don't know what this is.
I don't know. It just looks like more desert.
Weird. Yeah, they really make the desert seem, like, super infinite in this game. In any case, this is going to be the Awakeners, and this is going to be the guys in the desert, I guess. So these are the... No, they're not called the Awakened. They're called the Loyalists or something? So, essentially, left on the island are the Serviles, which are like humanoid people with big elephant trunks. I don't know why they did that, but they did that. And... yeah. So they break into three factions. One are the Loyalists, who are loyal to the Shapers. Then the Awakened want equal rights. And then the Takers want to be dominant over the Shapers. And they hope to use forbidden magic to do so. So when you choose your ending to the game, you choose which, if not all, you will slaughter. Let's talk to one.
Our honeydew says, found an old phone of mine, and it was such a time warp. It still had apps like Google Suites and their failed Twitter clone, Google Plus.
Oh, yeah. Google Plus, huh?
Yeah.
That was such a weird, instead of liking stuff, you +1'd it. Okay, so this is a shop.
Yes, the elephants want equal rights. They're tired of working for peanuts.
So I think it was F3 was quick save? Maybe. Did that quick save? I assume I would have changed it to F5, right? Yes, I did. F4 to load. That's fine. Alright, bro. I want to sell something. Okay, so he's got a decent amount of money. Oh, you know, if I wanted to be, like, super obsessive, I could, like, wait until I increase my leadership. So I, like, hoard things on the floor. I'm probably already doing that. Who knows? Let's not be super crazy, I guess. Sell the venom thorns. How about shoes? I guess boots are better. 5%, 2%. What do the shoes have? Oh, shoes are 3%, 1%. Okay. Has no interest in the item. It's not valuable enough. You piece of shit. Okay. I guess I'll sell the bronze sword since I can't wield it, and I'm probably never gonna want to. And I don't really want to use javelins either. Javelins are not valuable enough. Jesus, this guy's got some real like particulars about what he wants. Bread. It's the bread is not valuable enough. He only wants the highest quality goods. This guy. A tunic. Oh wow, he doesn't even want the tunic. Okay, well, I guess I'll sell these two things. I got attacked by an artilla in the tunnels under your shop.
Oh man, David Myers has a long joke for us. You ready for this one? A penguin retired from the zoo and decided to drive back home to Antarctica. He broke down somewhere in Texas and had his car towed to the local shop to check it out. It was so hot while he waited, he decided to run across the street and buy 2 ice cream cones. They quickly melted while he was eating them and made a mess on his feet. The mechanic hops over to him and says, "Well, it looks like you blew a seal." And the penguin replied, "No, that's just a bit of ice cream." Good one.
Man, orcs look very weird in this game. I get this is supposed to be like a combination of 2 animals, a pig and something else. I guess a cow. I don't know. So the typical thing I do in these games is I throw all my shit on the floor because nothing despawns, so you can store stuff anywhere. But the question is, where did I store my heaps of stuff? You know what I mean? I must have a heap somewhere. And probably nowhere like that's like super unassuming. Like probably someplace I would remember to find it.
One would hope.
You know?
Although I'd never trust my past self.
Oh, speaking of gaming, does anyone have any like games that are popular that would have a soap, yeah, like a soap fragrance attached to them? Because there's a convention I was gonna go to, and they want you to have like a tax thing. I don't know, like so that you pay taxes or some shit. Know what I mean? Oh, they have a healing. Oh, it's essence. Neat. I guess it's unnecessary, but these are pits of algae, basically, sort of, that are bred to, like, you can suck them up and heal yourself with them. And you, like, feed the culture of algae with, like, sugar or something to keep it going. So that's what they use to power their, like, shaping of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna leave my stuff right here. So that I can carry things. I'm not going to throw javelins, most likely, so I'll throw those on the floor. I think this is the starting robe. But I'm wearing one, so...
David Myers says they added a use for soap in Baldur's Gate 3. You can now clean the blood off before cutscenes.
Oh, that is useful. You can walk into water, too, but, like... Even when you map travel, you keep all the blood, and it's very odd. You're, like, just soaked in blood. It's like... I guess I'll keep the flint and steel on the off chance that's, like, supposed to be used. Shaper records, for sure, are something that you're supposed to collect. I just don't know... You know, I guess just, like, assuming that it will stay on the floor, it's fine to just drop them on the floor. Yeah, let me just store a whole bunch of shit on the floor. I'll keep the icy crystal. Yeah, it's a cone attack. So it used to be the multi-attack, the multi-hit, like AoEs or whatever, they would just hit everything in your line of sight, which was very nice. I could see how that's a bit broken, but that was just like the simple way that it worked. And I kind of prefer that, so I don't have to like angle my AoEs and stuff. Also, the AoEs is very difficult to see where you're targeting, so I just turned it to the difficulty that you can't friendly fire. I would prefer to have no friendly fire and then like a higher difficulty, but that's fine. And they changed the model for thorn batons. I thought that this was a very cool idea. This is one of the like mainstay weapons in this game. It's a wand essentially that fires thorns out of it.
That is very cool.
And they grow the ammunition in like thorn bushes that they pick, and then they like load them into the wands as like a gun, kind of.
How quaint.
Yeah, and so these are like the standard issue weapons. So one-handed, you could use a shield with it and fire thorns out. And then the standard... So a lot of times you'll find these abandoned places, like... In the games in general, he's a big fan of, like, abandoned facilities. So we just saw an abandoned school. There's a lot of abandoned facilities, like power facilities or something like that. And something I always thought was very neat was finding in these places the armory and how it's stocked with, like, perfectly useful... but not really to you at that point, because you probably have gotten better stuff. But they have, like, chest armor that, like, clips on these, like... maybe we'll find some. It's called chitin armor, which is, like, the material lobster shells are made out of. So they're grown by the shapers to provide, like, armor, just like the thorn batons are grown from thorn baton, like, stalks, and then the ammo's grown from thorn bushes, and it's, like... It's very interesting that they just have this sort of mass production, like farming of their equipment, and then they have lots of standardized, really like simple but effective stuff that they just stick into supply closets. And I don't know, something about it really like fleshed out the world to me, like a really like very effective like storytelling. I don't know, it made me like imagine like, oh, how would this work and that work with their system.
Yeah, it's nice to go back to the roots of what started inspiration for you.
Yeah, I suppose I guess that's another thing, yeah. This is some of the first... Oh, wow, there's a little animation of it falling on the floor. This is probably my first fantasy inspiration, really. This was, like, the first thing that really got me, like, interested in fantasy. And this is such an atypical fantasy game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, like, biopunk is not something normally applied to... Abby's armpits. What game is that? So I'm thinking like Elden Ring, you know? A boomerang? What do you call a boomerang that doesn't work? A stick? That's a very funny joke. I do appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
It's a high quality. That's highbrow entertainment, which you wouldn't understand.
I guess not. You got me there.
Alright, so let's save the ruined school. Save here. Oh, I forgot, I never showed you guys what the serviles look like. You have to use your imagination previously, so I always just imagine them as like regular people with like slightly larger noses. But in this game, they actually show you there's like art of characters, which is, you know, shockingly just not something that existed previously. Like he commissioned like the what happens when you beat the game in the beginning, but otherwise there was like no art in the original. All of these things were like 3D models that he like hacked together, which is, I guess, what they are now. He's changed most of them into that anyway. All right, so that's not a main character.
Japan already has Pokemon-themed soaps. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm not looking for any kind of like a super new product line. It's just like we're going to be going to a convention, and we're going to be going as Stone Clean Soap because that has an actual real like business incorporated whatever. For the events insurance, they want you to have a real like business tax ID thing. So you know, so going as I don't know if you guys can even see the art of this guy. Oopsies. My bad. Meant to grab the top of the window. I think this mouse is starting to go because I did click on the top of the window. It just slipped.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you cannot see that guy's face. Everything, the UI is so zoomed out in this game. It's like the top complaint everybody talks about on like the forums is like, how do I change the UI scaling? And the creator doesn't seem to like have any solutions.
Yeah, not a big fan of everything being super tinies.
I saw someone asking, and the creator, like the lead designer guy, was like, "Oh, maybe you could do this." I don't know. It's like, listen, man, it's a one-man company. Who else is gonna figure this out? Someone created like a secondary program so they could run the first few games in a window, and it's like, bro, couldn't you just like make that for people if they really want it? But you know.
Yes. Jamie says, just take a piece of round yellow soap, cut a wedge out of it, and call it Pac-Man. The ultimate strat.
Cut a wedge out, yeah. I was thinking like taking some vaguely planty smell and calling it like Erd Tree, Elden Ring, something.
You're right, and then you have the Witcher's scent.
Yeah, I have lilac and gooseberries, which is Yennefer's perfume in the Witcher series. And then like I don't know some other shit. My friend John said sensu beans. That's vaguely planty smell. That's also pleasant. And then he said like coffee or something or cafe for like Tokyo Ghoul, and then like Lucky Star. It was like chocolate something, chocolate con. I don't know. I deliver the message. I expect to be paid for my time. I do. Excellent. The message, it was not as important as meeting El Hurrah. We all have much to learn from him. Still, here you are. He hands you a small pouch of silver coins. The more we learn of the strange things happening in this island, the more relieved we are that a shaper arrived. Of course.
Love to Draw says, do a chai one called Spice of Dune.
We do have we have like jasmine tea. Was Dune? Did they have tea? I know they had tea in that, but did they actually name what kind of tea it was? Oh, chocolate cornet. Yeah, that's what it was.
Sonic the Hedgehog's up. It smells like chili dogs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
At least these are stairs.
A little bit of real chili in every bar.
Oh, so I guess I have been down here. This must be like a storage area. Growing like mushrooms for food. It's very fascinating to think about a society having like being able to grow mushrooms in their basement as like a cultivation, because it is just like a huge source of food you could have just lying around. Let me quick save. Can I open this? Consume 3 living tools. I gotta know what's in there. I'll just load afterwards. There's a lot of old shaper trash back here. The shopkeeper must have accumulated while scavenging for things to trade.
Love to Draw says 2B, and it smells of gear oil.
Ah, wonderful. So I wasn't thinking we'd make like real genuine new fragrances. Not that like we couldn't. Okay. So I did reset the quick save quick load key bindings the F5 and F9. Okay. So let's go further out into the world and see what we got. I'm excited to take some more forbidden magic and use it. Guess I'll slap down a quick save here. See what we get up to. So this place said that it was too dangerous to pass through. Oh, what's this? War Blessing. Who the fuck are you guys? Forney. That is beautiful chainmail. I'm not going to take this guy's armor. I'm also not going to waste my War Blessing. Didn't realize I had that. So War Blessing, I think, is... I know all of the spells, not by their name, but by like what their tiny little icon looked like. So I don't really know if this is the one I'm thinking of, but I think that's the one that just makes all your guys do like quite a bit more damage. It's like a very basic spell. Oh, shit. Crap. Fucking... Okay. Okay, cool. So... Get blasted. Oh, that missed? Okay, so... What's the range of this thing?
Alright. We got another long joke. You ready for this one?
I'm so ready. Is this...
Sure. Sherlock and Watson go camping and settle in for the night. Sherlock wakes up Watson and says, "Look up and tell me what you see." Watson says, "Stars." So Sherlock says, "And what does that tell you?" Watson says, "Well, if there are billions and billions of stars, there might be billions and billions of planets. If there are billions of planets, there might be planets like Earth. If there are planets like Earth, there might be a planet out there where two other guys camping and looking up at the stars just like we are." Sherlock says, "No, you idiot, someone stole our tent." Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Amazing. Yeah, maybe I should be moving around in like tactical combat deployment.
What would the burning star logo smell like? Dreams, Zora.
Blueberries and vanilla?
Yeah, I have no idea. Love to Draw says, "I have basically no sense of smell, so I have to imagine 90% of smells."
Combined with your love of rodents, it's a very funny fact.
I forgot about that.
Let me see if I can, like... Nah. I'll just stay behind cover and have these guys take care of it. Now, what does it cost to attack? It used to be 5, but I think it's, like, changed. Like, they're just, like... You just can attack. Is that gonna hit? Okay. Didn't give me a number of how much damage it did, but... Sure. Let's see. So that attack costs more energy? Oh, I'm poisoned. Icky. I guess I don't know what. Heal it? Is that an efficient option? Wow, the healing looks very nice now. Nothing used to really have an effect. It used to just like be like a sound effect. Oh, quick action. So then he gets to do it twice. Nice. Very efficient. Okay. Is there a hotkey for this that I set? I guess not.
Yeah, Love to Draw says, "Once in a while, my one good nerve ending fires and it's strange as fuck. Unfortunately, I have smelled old person shit at work, and it was functioning then."
Alright. Walk 3, so I can make that shot. Oh, quick action. Nice.
Yeah. Our honeydew says, was listening to the Friday with Manphan as background noise during Pokemon Go Jog and realized Trisha was right about the disconnect between comics and the animated shows based off them. Just look at the marketing mess the Harley Quinn character became recently. Oh yeah, definitely.
What'd they do with her?
Well, just thinking about how anime and manga tries to do anyway, accurate one-for-one adaptations, or at least try to stick with the same story. Well, as a lot of American comics, it's more so like loosely based off of when you make a cartoon all based on it, it's like really loose, and they just like kind of spin whatever they want, and then you get like sometimes it turns out okay, right? Batman the Animated Series was fine. They created a bunch of cool new characters in there, and then like Harley Quinn just like changes with every iteration, and they just made her like more and more unhinged.
Yeah.
And now she's a feminist icon somehow.
I was so disappointed seeing like parents walking their kid around on Halloween dressed up as Harley Quinn. Like, it's so inappropriate for a little girl to be dressed like that. It's like so crazy that there's like child-sized Harley Quinn costumes. Like,
yeah, it's pretty insane. Don't dress up as a Disney princess though.
yeah, it's like so unhinged. It's like, yeah, dress your daughter up as a literal prostitute instead of a princess.
Yeah, and how they're running all these interactions at the same time. Yeah, it's very confusing. It was a very confusing time when superheroes were really big and nobody knew how to get into the comics because all of the comics are so different. Like, there's so many different universes with different versions of the characters that are just completely opposite.
Can't quick save during combat. Oh, I'm in combat. Okay, so let's get over here. Another poison tick. Is this just a super long wait for a poison tick, or do they pause the poison while I'm taking? Oh, they do. That's kind of cool.
And Jamie says she wasn't a prostitute, she was a mole? Big difference? I don't know what the fuck that is.
She's definitely a prostitute.
Mole, M-O-L-L? What is that?
I don't know. But she's
I gotta,
like
Google this.
whether the character's literally a prostitute, she's dressed up like a hooker. Like she's got like
Girlfriend of gunman or gangster. A woman prostitute is also the second definition. So I don't think it's that big of a difference if it's a part of the definition.
She looks like a fucking hooker. Like there's no getting around it. She's dressed up in fishnets with like a crop top thing, and she has a shirt that says "Daddy's Girl." Is that really appropriate for a child to wear?
She used to be like dressed up like clown.
Yeah, if you
it fit.
Yeah, like if you want to dress up your daughter as like the acrobatic Harley Quinn who does backflips and stuff in the cartoon, fine. That's whatever. But as what is essentially, you can't see that spot. Why is it letting me?
A prostitute fucks many men. A mole only fucks one. Well, I don't know about that because the gangster could be prostituting her. I mean, he's a gangster.
So she's a faithful hooker. Good. An even better thing to dress your daughter up as. Like a fucking kindergartner. Like. Alright, so a bunch of Artillas in this area. It seems like a shit ton of creatures. I guess inside there is where all the trouble is, so maybe I should, like, do the outside first. Although part of me, so each one of these spells costs energy, which keeps you from spamming it super often in combat. But then, oop, ah, fuck. Oh, God, I can never click these things fast enough. 'Cause they're like so tiny on this bar. I'll just shoot him.
David says, no, a slut sleeps with everyone. A bitch sleeps with everyone but you.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Yeah. There it is.
That was a very offensive joke at my school. You might oh, there's I misclicked trying to attack and now I'm like stopped or something. I don't know.
Nora Honeydew says, and weird they think there's an overlap like she's in these R-rated movies while also in an aged-down HS cartoon. Then another one appears in Teen Titans Go, and it's based off the R-rated movie version. Yeah, it's very, very confused.
Oh, and this guy 5 is casting. Ooh, boy. That looks like a big AoE attack the guy has. Ooh. Oh, I'm not in range. Can I shoot with this? You can shoot with 1 AP? That's so weird. Alright, so I'll have him heal himself. Oh, it's quick action. Sweet. I'll shoot him too. Get blasted. I didn't even realize I could have quick. Oh, Jesus, that's a lot of damage. Okay, let's scoot you up one.
James
Also,
says only feminists like that stupid daddy's little monster costume. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I remember seeing it and thinking to myself, man, that's a completely different character. Who's this slut? Why does she have a baseball bat? And why is she calling herself Harley Quinn?
The giant hammer was like amusing. You always assume it's a fake hammer though, right? Like it's like a like it doesn't have.
It's a pico hammer or something.
Oh fucking god damn it! The combat just starts. Yeah, you always assume it's like not made out of like solid wood or something.
Love to Draw says because feminists have daddy issues.
Just got punched by a thod. Can I shoot in point blank? Okay, I can. Get shit on. Okay.
Yeah, it's ironic that like feminists are the ones that are like, oh man, I wish I had a relationship like Harley and Joker. And it's like, what the fuck? Are you sure?
Incrediburu.
You sure about that?
Just like degen maxing. Are you ready to leave this region? Yes. Okay. So these people have like random quests for me to like clear the bandits, etc. I think the next zone is like choke pointed with clearing this zone that has these random rogue creations in it. And I think I probably don't want to like grind for too long and like look for other side paths. Because at the moment I would like to be able to get access to more creations. I know that he did a poll for a creation to add to this game as a stretch goal, and cockatrice was chosen. So that's kind of exciting. He made them like extra strong, and they're like it's like hard to find where the cockatrice is, and it's like in the later part of the game. So that's like amusing. I would have chosen anything but a cockatrice probably, but like a chimera would have been fucking rad. But you know, what are you gonna do? I'm excited for the remake of the second game, but because he's gonna balance the game a little bit more, it's not gonna be quite. I won't quite know what to do, because I'm used to playing as a guardian in the second game. Okay, let's do War Blessing. Or let's like walk over here and do War Blessing so I don't get shot. Oh, sweet. So there's two next to each other. This is like the dream scenario right here. Can hit two at once. Aha. Yeah, I think the Fiora is probably going to be good enough to use through the whole game because these... Oh, Jesus Christ, just let me right-click to cancel. It's so weird not being able to. Because this ability seems really strong. So maybe the game has been balanced in such a way that when you make a creation, you can carry it through the whole game. Because I know I dragged my Fioras through most of the game, and then at some point, I left them outside and went in with the other creations. they're so weak. After a point, the game doesn't like let you really. Oh, Jesus, a lot of damage. All right. Let's bless before we go in, and yeah. Is there a button to enter combat? Oh, combat is F. Okay, so let's do that. Swap. Okay. It's like, I guess I'm the most survivable. Compared to these guys. I think I can eat another shot, so I'll try and finish this one off. Ooh, fuck.
Oh boy.
These guys are quite strong. You can't really let anyone die, right? I don't have any other spells, I don't think. I could be wrong. Oh, fuck Christ. Okay, so I'll leave myself as a target, because it looks like I kind of need to be out there. Oops. So take a shot. Okay, so they go after me, so I'll have time to heal myself. The quick action doesn't seem to have a ton of relevance in this fight. I think it's an AoE they're shooting because it looks such a big effect, so I think I should heal myself apart from them, so then they hopefully can't hit my guys too. Okay, sweet. So they split up the damage. That basically means that I can win this. Feels a little cheaty to like just run it back until they make a worse decision, but I guess the other option is to level up and come back, because otherwise I'll lose all the experience I invested in those guys. That's not great. Okay, so I guess I have to heal my creation, but it doesn't really...
Oh my goodness.
Alright, let's see. Nice. Oh, 20 XP, so that's like a lot more than the other ones were giving. I think they were giving 14.
Sweet.
So that all checks out. Could heal quickly before something comes around the corner and kills me. I assume there's going to be like a queen roamer around the corner. Oh no, this is just the gating off another path. Probably a more difficult one, since there's difficult creations there. Several servile warriors were trapped and killed in this clearing. The bones are months old. Rogues must have hunted them down. Okay. So it looks like these things don't have any value. Oh, it says value 20? Okay, so maybe this has value? I can give that a shot. I guess I'll save myself the trouble of gathering valueless things. Oh, chitin. Oh, what? That's so disappointing. They've changed the model for chitin armor to something much less mass-produced looking when it's it's a very mass-produced item, right? But they like it's supposed to come off of a plant, like it grows out as a
Right.
it grows out as one chest plate, and then it has these like claws on it, these claw-looking appendages on it that you would use to buckle yourself into it. Like you'd attach those around yourself so that it would be just for your chest, not your back. It would be like just the like half a breastplate or something. And I thought that was such a neat thing to have in the security room or something. I was like, oh, there's an attack or something. You buckle on some armor real quick, grab a thorn baton, and get out there. But I guess money is valuable, right? Yeah, more chitin armor. But they made it look... It's very small, but I guess it looks like kind of like a... not a gambeson. I forget what those are called. Like the cheaper kind of chest piece. And then the shoulder pieces do kind of look like lobster. So, like with the little bumps. So it looks like what it's supposed to be, I guess. But I think it's like a low-level item, but they've kind of gone away from the appearance of it being like a simple component of more pieces of clothing. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite change. Oh, I saw a thought over here. Oh, fuck. I didn't realize the combat started again. Oh, it's quick action. Nice.
Whoa, that is fast.
Oh, the Fioras are the same size as him. Is that because they're higher level or stronger or something? Because he seems so tiny.
Yeah, right?
Bah. Alright. So this shit has been abandoned for like a million years. So I guess there's no time pressure that says I shouldn't just be like leaving and coming back. I know mechanically there isn't, but yeah. So spray crystals used to be very exciting to find, and they used to have a much more exciting icon. I don't know, maybe it's just because I was younger when I saw them originally, but I was so excited when I saw a spray crystal. They were like an AoE thing. I think this is also probably the same thing. Affects an area, yeah. And the spray crystals aren't made by the Shapers. They're made by like another civilization that focuses more on magics the Shapers find to be beneath them. Alright, so I'm gonna just do this one guy.
Our honeydew asking, so Reaper, are there any subtle nods to other stories? You mean like in Reaper do I make references? Not so much. It's kind of like its own thing. I suppose there might be some like subtle nods to history. I suppose there's like there are things that inspired it when I was putting together the story.
You didn't stack the Easter eggs?
No, I didn't throw in random IP into Reaper. Unfortunately, maybe that's what I had to do to like sell it better. I don't know.
I think it's a really good intro, like to make you interested in like seeing where it goes next.
Yes, that's the idea.
But but it's a really good intro after you're done reading it. You know what I mean? So like I don't.
Well, that's why I wanted to make it a full book, I guess.
Yeah, but like when I look at it, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make me want to pick it up. But once I'm done with the first one, I want the second one. You know what I mean? So like, I think you.
I need a better cover.
I think you. No, the cover's cool. I like the cover. However, like I said before, some more big titty waifus is probably...
big titty waifus.
Yeah, I mean, big titty waifus...
I do need more big titty waifus. I'll have to just, like, throw them in wherever I can in the second one.
Yeah, I think you should have come out of the gate and be like, big titty waifu. And then, like, you know, even if you had to, like, put a thing over it, goes, coming soon. Like, next book or something. Just throw in some big titty waifus. You know what? That would be an insanely hilarious stretch goal. More big titty waifus, like $7,000.
Just include a bunch of, like, pin-ups at the end of the book.
You, like, do, like, a Where's Waldo thing. You just, like, insert random busty barmaids into the backgrounds of scenes that don't have them.
Let's see. Our also asks, was there any temptation to set in the same world as Horizon Quest, but, like, over there? Well, I was writing Reaper before Adam was writing Horizon Quest. And, you know, we're both different writers that kind of have different ideas for, like, our own fantasy worlds. Obviously, Horizon Quest is a much more optimistic fantasy world, where it's like, sure, there's monsters and stuff, but the whole, they're not in, like, a collapsing land or anything. Whereas in Reaper, they lost, like, their lord, and now there's no one governing that area that they're in. So there's a violence run amok, so to say.
Yeah, not that I would say that Reaper is, like, super pessimistic, but
No, that's not the idea.
Yeah, it's thematically quite different.
Very much.
That's something I don't quite get. I don't know what to do. Where people have lots of projects and they set them all in the same like place. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I always think like, doesn't that make it so much more complicated? Oh wow, I went all the way back just so I could.
I think a lot of people think of it like when it's all connected to each other. There are people who really like the world who will buy everything related to that universe. So it's theoretically more sales if you can sell somebody on one
Like if
book in that world.
Like if you want to sell Vati Vidya on something, just be like, hey, this is vaguely related to Dark Souls. It's like,
But I mean, it would work.
Yeah.
It would work. It's like part of the idea with the cinematic universes and the comic universes all being connected is people would want to buy more of it to learn more about the universe.
Yeah, you know, on some level I get it, but also I don't know, like I feel like I would rather just make a whole shit ton of different worlds than have a lot of like really, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the way. It's a lot more stress to have something be part of a greater world, because then you're kind of like, you got to pay attention to all the lore and stuff. But there's so many opportunities to put in lore in places. So I am a big fan of what they've done to the Crystal Spires. Gotta say, they look way better than they used to, and I still know what it is, you know. So it's not like too much of a change. The Essence Pool, I hate it. You guys don't know what it used to look like, but it used to look like, I guess, worse. But it's like you have these like serotonin responses when you're like, oh my god, a place within the dungeon that I can just cast all of my buffs and not have to go without the essence that they cost. It's just infinite magic recovery. I can just keep on using War Blessing. I saved before I did this, right?
You're asking the wrong girl.
Back away carefully. You leave it alone. It doesn't kill you. Okay. Let's make sure I have a nice firm save. This will be bad if it goes wrong. Okay. Though the design is archaic, do they mean literally archaic, like pre-Roman times? It's a carved... You recognize what it is. A power spiral. It's a carved, glowing crystal structure, hot to the touch, and full of organic goop. Very scientific. Inside, it is a combination of plant matter, animal flesh, and essence. Little fibrous roots extend from it into the ground. It draws energy from the sun and the ground. The purpose of a power spiral is to feed energy to any nearby Shaper experiments. This spiral was left active by the Shapers on Susia Island when they left. Its years here, however, have left it unstable. When you get close, it starts to hum and vibrate. Your mere presence is disturbing an old, unstable power spiral. An old, unstable power spiral can be a volatile thing. Attempt to make it explode? Why would I do that? Attempt to stabilize it. Even if you had the skill and the tools, which you don't, repairing things damaged caused by years of neglect is probably impossible. Attempt to make it explode? You inspect the spiral more carefully. Your knowledge of mechanics is just not up to the task. You could attempt it, but you would need to use brute force. It would be extremely dangerous. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Six living tools. Fuck me. Alright, let's not go in there. Let's go in the main entrance.
Jamie Rose just posted a code into chat. Aura says, I'd be cool with fan service. Read so much manga, I think it looks weird when there isn't any.
I don't know if it's exactly the fan service is what I mean. It's there's just a certain kind of balance to a world that you get when you have a beautiful princess riding a unicorn sides out. Jesus fucking Christ. The game, it's so tiny that I have to click and then I miss and it's now walk all the way over there and die.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't it didn't occur to me at the time when I was writing it that I should have had more women in book one.
Just as a balancing element. I would say.
Exactly. Because there's no women main characters in book one. I maybe drew a few in the background, but should have had at least one big titty bitch, even if she was just going to be a side character who's a throwaway. It would still be something.
Canister can shape. Okay, so what do you got? How much liquid do you guys think this is? I think, what is it? David Myers say it was 200 gallons. It is so much. It claims it's 4 feet tall, which makes my character. I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's a third taller than it. I guess that's right, though. But it's much wider than my character. So, but it's not 3 feet. So it's I don't know, two and a half, maybe? That's a lot of fluid. That's definitely more fluid than you should be absorbing. You know what I mean? I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's so...
You're right.
It's so zoomed
so
out
tiny.
because just how the UI is on this game, it can't handle big monitors, and I'm playing it in a window on a TV, but I am still playing it on TV. All right, we're gonna zoom in, folks. We're gonna get in here.
We're gonna go over the top.
Yeah, okay, wait, let me put you over here.
David says, I like to think of it like Arnold Schwarzenegger's career in his early works. He was shirtless because no one was hiring him for his acting ability. You're goddamn right.
Did that zoom? I guess that's a kind of zoom, right? All right, we're gonna go back to the corner. We're gonna drag it out. We're gonna get...
Team is still forming, still got time for the big titty one and the caked up one. Yes. There is a waifu that will be added to the party. Although I only really scheduled her to be officially entering the party in book 3. So maybe I'll have to add some other side characters for the big titty waifus.
100, it is roughly double a 55-gallon drum.
Hey, Marshall.
A 55-gallon drum is only 3 feet tall. It's wide, too. Yeah. That is an unhealthy amount of magical fluid to be absorbing. 55-gallon drum is only like 3 feet tall. So the description claims it was 4 feet tall. So Marshall, if you're just getting here, what this yes or no is proposing is that I slam my hand down on the spike on top of this canister and suck up all of the fluid into my body. I don't think my body can hold that much fluid. It looks much wider than my character, and then it also looks to be nearly it's like, yeah, it claims to be 4 feet tall, but it's it's a thick canister. So anyway,
yes,
not happening, Marshall. You know what, Marshall? That's why you're not an evil wizard, right? That's what you don't have what it takes to be an evil wizard. You're not willing to absorb probably 100 gallons of thick essence, thick, undulating, living on its own essence. If you wanna have power to rival the gods, sometimes you have to get some suck.
Or Honeydew says, book 3, damn, Trisha has this plotted out. Oh yeah, I got a couple books figured out.
She's been working on this for a long time. Like she said on the thing, on the Fridays with Dan fan stream, she's been working on it for a while, right? She was already kind of starting.
Yeah, I had like a draft, right? And that draft was like, I was already starting like book 2, drafting that out so that I could have like stuff extra like figured out ahead of time. But then I lost the hard drive, so had to like restart drafting out book 2, and now I'm, pausing that so that I can finish book 1. But yeah, it's been in the works.
When the hard drive got damaged, I was like 100% positive it was gonna die, and I didn't want to be like pushy and be like, you must do this or that. But I was like, in my head, I was like, man.
It lasted a while after that.
Yeah, I know, and which is the danger of it, right? But like Trisha dropped her phone on the laptop, and then the screen like flickered or something. Like
yeah, it like was glitchy.
Yeah, and I was like,
I couldn't press anything.
I was like, well, sounds like you hit your hard drive with your phone, and so the hard drive's gonna die. And you were like, oh, I turned it off and on, and it like worked. And I was like, okay, it's probably gonna die, so I might wanna.
No, you didn't
have things backed up or whatever, but I remember I asked, like, do you have things backed up? And you're like, oh, yeah.
It's also, like, possible it hit, like, something else that, like...
Yeah, I don't know.
Was not as big of a problem.
Yeah, and well, then I apologize for lying, because I was 100% positive at the time. I called Brian to ask him, and he was like, yeah, that's 100% the hard drive. And I was like, yeah, well, and I remember saying to him, like, well, she emailed her stuff to herself, and then he was like, is she getting a new computer? I was like, nah, I don't think so. So, but then it lasted for like 3 years or something, and then it died later. But like, it was too early in a relationship for me to feel like I had the right to just be like, listen, woman, get a backup service.
Source. Make me a sandwich and get a backup service. Jamie Rose says, so Trisha gonna add some side boob? If I must, the side boobs are coming. But please buy book 1.
I feel like side boob doesn't fit unless it's sword and sorcery. I love some of the outfits in like old D&D. I don't know.
Terry Meyer says, yeah, I calculated the volume of 4x2, then multiplied that by the weight of the water, and it came up with over 800 pounds.
So should we count the amount of canisters that I've absorbed and then extrapolate how heavy my character has become? So I've definitely absorbed the one in the beginning in the tutorial, and I definitely probably absorbed a Create Fiora one. Yeah, we're getting protection. Protection's super good. There's no way around it. What do we got? Oh, what is this? Searer. Huh. Uses 9 action points? What the goddamn fuck does... Oh! That's why you... Is that how they're doing things? All the spells cost 9 action points? So it takes her whole turn? It used to be 5 action points. What a wonky-ass game. Okay. So these are the 2 basic, like, protection things. War Blessing makes you do a shit ton of damage. And then this one... Yeah, for the most part, makes your creatures not die, so... They're AoEs, so they're always just, like, doing that before you enter a fight. Or rather, a new room. I remember I was trying to keybind this to the mouse so I didn't have to hit 5 every time I wanted to use one.
Yeah, stretch goals, more side boom. I'll work on it.
That's kind of like the balancing element to like a Conan story or something. Like everything's horrible, but then there's a bitch with big tits and you're like,
no, not
Conan.
so bad after all.
Slay the beast!
David Meyer says that's because old D&D used to trace porno mags for full body shots. Yes.
That's not exclusive to D&D, actually. I mean, like...
Daggerfall got some porn in there.
There was... well, that's, like, different. The I was going through the files of Daggerfall for... to like, look into, like, modding the game. And, I was looking through the images, and they have, like, straight up, like more pixelated like Playboy things for the portrait section, and yeah, it's like actual.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did actually like make pixel art over like.
Yeah, maybe. I know Marvel was famous for getting caught doing that.
Yeah.
It was, I forget what his name was, but there's this one particular guy who. He was tracing other people's work. He wasn't just tracing porn, but he did get... People were like, yeah, this is definitely from porn. But then he also got caught tracing other people's work, which is perhaps more of a problem. You can't move in combat after you've attacked? What is this dumb rule? They made this up for... That must be something from, like, a Vernum that they're just, like, putting into this game. Stupid. I don't know. I guess I'll heal? The heal seems like such overkill.
Yes. David Meyer says, yes, they didn't know how to draw. It is also prevalent for other comic media. I'm sure even Manphan uses references. If not, her boob drawings are more impressive. Well, I mean, I have them. You know? So it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's like... There's no better reference than your own body.
Okay. But yeah, I guess it's not like a super... Yeah, it's not like a super catastrophe. It's also not really why I wouldn't say that's like necessarily. Oh, a spawner. Shit. Okay, so these things are interesting because they're a source of near limitless. Actually, can I like load? Yeah, let's get out of here. Go. Get out of here. Get over here. Get your essence back first. It doesn't track. I can't draw a cock to save my life. That's something that boys have been doing on notebooks and walls for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how you're behind.
It's two circles, and then you just keep on drawing the third circle until someone like tackles you for drawing on their notebook. That's how you draw. That's how you draw dicks. There was also like when the Panama Canal.
Just trace around it like a hand turkey. That's a pretty funny comment, Marshall.
There's when the Panama Canal got blocked, everyone was like, "It's a conspiracy," because they were drawing. He was sailing in the formation of a dick, and it's just like the idle animation. They do figure eights, and then at the end of the figure eight, they like, you know, when they're next, they start going towards and then away, depending on like whether they get the go-ahead to complete their thing. So it ends up being a dick formation whenever they're going into a canal. And I just thought it was so funny that people were like, "It's proof!"
They're all gay! They're signaling us! Aura says, OCD, that fat guy from Superbad had that compelled him to draw schlongs. Yep.
Oh, quick action. Look at that. So, there's not infinite experience in Geneforge because stuff doesn't respawn. However, spawners do spawn extra creatures. And, oh, did I not get experience for that? Seems ludicrous. Do spawners no longer give extra experience for killing the things they spawn? That's no fair. Yeah, I guess I didn't get any experience for that. Experience is 3799. I can't believe it. My source of endless experience. Not endless, but because they eventually can't spawn anymore just because of how the coding works. Let's see. I don't think I got any. 3799? Nope. No experience. Let's see. Oh wow, a lot of health. I don't think I need to heal. Just hit. I'm like not super far behind on the damage. Oh, you know what? I should probably do like War Blessing. Because I think my main problem is just not having the damage. That'll catch me up, yeah. Yeah, let me heal. Walk forward a little bit. See if I can get a quick action in here. Oh, nice. Second fire. Okay. Nice, nice. I'll hit the guy who hasn't been hit, because then I can, like, give them a chance to kill all of them with the AoEs. Oh, nice. Quick action. Look at that. Quick action is, like, totally new to me, because it didn't exist in the old Geneforge. It was, like, part of his, like, mainline series, I believe, and I only played, like, a few minutes of those. I couldn't quite get into them the same way. Although I did enjoy, like, having a whole party to work with. It felt very, like, weirdly lonely, because, like, the characters don't do anything, and you can't, like, give them, like, a personality or anything. It was weird. Whereas, like, in this, it felt like you had a more of a tangible character, because, like, they tell you what is expected of, like, shapers and stuff, and so you can kind of imagine how your character would be acting to some extent.
Mm-hmm. Our Honeydew asking, so in terms of fan service, what level do we see Trisha being at on a scale of Sword Art Online to Monster Musume? David Myers they're saying definitely more towards sword art, but she doesn't shy away from it either. Aura says, God, I love that retro 3D art. Looks like clay or those old Rudolph movies. Yes, the Rankin Bass.
But like, this was done 2021. Like, this is not it's not that old. I gotta do War Blessing. I think I need the damage to keep up or I'll get drowned. Just take the risk I don't die.
Yeah, as far as like me and fan service, I guess specifically like the sexual kind of fan service, I would want to have it exist to keep people engaged and also not shy away from sexuality in general, but I would also not want it to distract from anything. I get really like angry when I see fan service completely distracting from the story in an anime or something. Unless it's like the whole purpose is a fan servicey, you know, a gimmick or an ecchi, where it's like supposed to be kind of sexual, then it makes sense. But if there's like a serious story going on and they keep on interrupting the story to like show me a super animated foot, then I get very upset.
we got together with friends to watch some like anime, and well, you know, just to get together to see each other. But we watched a bunch of different like animes, and we watched Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, which is super cool. We just watched the first episode. It was interesting and everything. But they had this super over animated like scene at the end, which was super not necessary and like really well. It's not the focusing on the foot exactly, which was the problem. But
we had like this joke where it's like that one guy in the office who's just like, I need to animate these feet in this scene, otherwise I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'll leave. I'll leave.
I'll leave right now if I don't get my foot fetish scene in there.
Oh wait, was there a canister in there? Then it's probably super worth it though.
Horizon Quest had the right amount.
Oh, there was.
Good to hear. That's probably about the amount you can imagine.
Okay, so I'm probably not going to take this one because this is a debuff magic. Sorry, I'm not going
to... Marshall says, you don't want someone just flipping through your book looking for boobs and not reading the story? No, I don't want that. Yeah, if I wanted that, I would write an ecchi. I wouldn't write an actual real story that should be taken seriously.
The thing is, like, I think people use fan service kind of inappropriately to what it really is. Like, essentially.
Carving of words has entered the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I like the monologue at the end though. That's very good, right?
Yeah, you like it at the end of the English version specifically.
Yeah. The whoever the guy was that worked on it, and I figured out who it was. Like, I figured it was some Japanese guy. But who like got it? Who like changed the writing for the like translation? Like, someone was in charge of it. I figured out who it was, and it doesn't matter because he hasn't done anything. He doesn't have any like social medias to follow. He has like a blog, which is in like Japanese. There's no real way I can like show my appreciation for this guy's like stuff, and he seems to be entirely uninterested in doing anything. Like, he hasn't done anything with his skills, but clearly he has them. And, you know, it's...
like when you try to look up, like, the director of Grimgar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just, like, haven't done anything else. Or not anything significant, at least. But they did a really good job directing that series.
Yeah, and it's like... Yeah, what a crying shame, you know? These guys are just different colors when they're poisoned, right? Yeah, they're the same color now. Let's quick save. See what we got over here. More chitin armor. Thorns. Thorn baton. Oh, can't pick it all up. I got vat boots, by the way, which is like an item that's been in a lot of the games. Poison, acid resistance. It's like exciting because it's like one of the first like enchanted things you get. I just remember it. I remember picking them up before. I don't know. So I guess I have to go back to pick up the rest of this stuff. I think I have to dump out more stuff from my inventory than I thought. More heaps of junk.
Yeah.
That'll come.
It's also like, in general, just going back to the fan service thing, it's also just like embarrassing when you're recommending a show because it's really good, but then it goes to the fetish scene and you're like, oh no, I swear, just ignore this scene, I swear it's very good. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So fan service is providing something to the fans that they think that they want,
yes,
but they do not necessarily want because it does not make the story
Sometimes
better.
it really is just what the writer wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the whole drool fetish thing. Like, that guy just has a body. What do they call it? A body liquid fetish.
I don't want to know what it's called.
Okay, well,
Chat, don't ask these questions. Chat, don't tell us. I don't want to know. Trisha's wrong. Trisha should not have asked. Trisha does not want to know. I don't want to know. No one wants to talk about this.
Yeah.
It's bad. Get away.
Right.
Stop. Don't.
But my point stands. Like, sometimes it's
Yeah, sometimes the
not
writer's a goddamn freak, yeah.
It's not actually what they think that the fans want. It just so happens to attract that niche. Or sometimes the fans are there for the other parts. And
Yeah.
then they all just get conflated together with all the foot fetish parts.
Leave this loaf of bread on the floor. Meat. I'll keep all the spores because I'm sure at some point I'll need these things. Maybe I should organize my consumables. Yeah. Speed pod, insanely powerful. Haste in a game where you're, or haste spores, I suppose, are really powerful. I don't know if I'll need flint and steel, but I'm hoping that I do because it sounds interesting. Oh, yeah. What the fuck with the inflation stuff or the mukbang fetish? I don't know if mukbang is really a fetish as much as it is, like, lonely people that, like...
That just want someone to eat with.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense from that perspective. Yeah, but at the same time, I think, like, when you've got lonely guys in an equation, sometimes the equation outputs a weird fetish,
Maybe. But, yeah. I'm not really interested in heading in weird fetishes to my comic. So, don't expect anything weird. We're gonna keep it pretty normal.
Yeah, it was funny. I was, for Treading Water, I was trying to do as much research as I could, right? I was trying to read as much romance stuff as possible, just to have, like, a really rounded picture of, like, what
Good
other
idea,
what other people are working on and what people are expecting of me. What is good, what people are commenting when they read these things. And I was looking at this one, and it was like, it was a really interesting comment, not for like what they said, but kind of what because of what they said illuminated about, like, the industry. It was a chapter of a romance. Spiral Burrow, absolutely fucking not. I don't know. I know what spirals are. Spirals are the crystal spires, and I cannot disarm even the simplest ones with my mechanic skill. And I don't know if I should invest more points in mechanics or save them or.
Can't be normal in fantasy. It's designed to be spectacular and magical. That doesn't mean I need to add a magical foot fetish scene.
Yeah.
There are better ways of making it spectacular than adding in the fetishes.
My brother likes to say he's super into midgets, but I think it's just for attention. Yeah, probably.
I'm sorry, what were you saying before? I actually wanted to hear about that.
So it was a chapter in which two characters have sex, and then there was an angry comment that was like very passive aggressive. Like it was a female. You could just tell it's a woman writing it, right? Just how people write, you can just tell gender. So this woman was writing. It was like, I don't know why they weren't having sex outside. That's a pretty common fetish, but whatever. And
weren't
it was
having sex outside?
right.
She was complaining about it?
Yeah, she was complaining about it because it was like, she was like, oh, that's a really common fetish, so you could be like, helping out lots of people is I suppose her point.
Helping?
Right.
Satisfying, I guess, is a
Sure.
better term, but...
Oh, hills of jars. Hey, baby, let's get some of these canisters. Let's get some forbidden magic.
That's a weird thing to complain about.
Yeah.
Like it's a porn or something.
Right, but it illuminates the fact that, well, you're always talking about how publishers will be like, oh, well, they'll say like, why don't you just put in one scene where they're doing this thing, or having them like get like tied up and stuff,
Yeah,
or this
yeah.
or that, and so
There's
they're
always
like,
other hands and things.
yeah, and they're always like, oh, you should put in this little fetish here, this little fetish there. You should
You should have them cheating.
you should appease this fetish or appease that fetish. It's interesting because it's common enough to the point where the fans of these things are kind of like, well, how come you're not? Yeah, how come you're not appeasing me and my weird fetish? You could just be adding this extra thing in there. It's like, which is kind of interesting to have this sort of like mafia demanding fan service, but in any case, I would say that having like sexualized content is not necessarily fan service. It's just sometimes what the story needs in order to like balance it out. Like my example with like a Conan story is sort of purposeful because when you read a Conan story, there's two like main elements to most of the Conan stories. There's like this masculine quest of like conquering something, of overcoming some task or whatever, and then not that that's with every single Conan story, but that's you can rely on that being there, or Howard being able to express Conan's character very clearly through a set of things that happen, and then you'll fairly often, but not always, you'll have a woman that he wants to like earn the affections of, and or not even that he's trying to earn the affections of, but that exists within the story. And so you have these like descriptions of this like serpent or something and the brutal acid like burning into his skin, but then it's balanced out by the element of this like very graceful, like overwhelmingly beautiful woman that'll exist within the same story. And romance is kind of that sort of second element. So like in Sword Art Online they have, I don't remember what would be considered fan service in Sword Art Online, but at some point in Sword Art Online it is one of the few animes where someone has sex. There's a lot of animes where it's like, ew, senpai accidentally tripped and touched my boobie. But there's very, very rarely does it actually get down to like this like real level of them actually fucking. And it's I find it like whenever like Trisha like mentioned her disdain for harems, and like I disdain more than a harem where there's like this weird polygamy going on. I disdain nothing happening. I actually hate when they have 70 bitches and the main character can't choose any of them because like, oh, and he doesn't do anything, and they're just
a beach boy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of bitches like drowning babies in their pants. They're so wet, and they're like falling all over him, and nothing is progressing there, and it simply exists as this like cock tease for the audience, and it serves no purpose forwarding the plot. It doesn't. It's basically it's basically not even a story. It's like this element that they just waste 10 minutes of a 20-minute episode on, and it's awful. And like I would rather them try to try to make some like shitty case for polygamy working than wasting my fucking time. Like just having these weird sections
just
of like
make it Boyfriends 2.0.
Like it's no, I don't but in any case, like I would say that it's not like you could have you could have a story that happens to have maybe even the same amount of like fan service stuff, but have it have a purpose. So I don't know. I mean, maybe not the same amount, but I think people say that they want this, or like it's like, oh, if only they'd go to a hot spring. But like it's not what the story really requires, and sometimes you have to even write things that people don't like for the overall like health of the story, if that makes any sense. Like, not that you write on chapters people hate, but like you're not necessarily always going towards the next thing that the reader wants exactly when you write a chapter. You're kind of thinking about the story with the reader kind of being separate to it if you want the story to be good, if that makes any sense.
Right. You're thinking about what will make people clap rather than what will make the story make sense.
Oh, so so I think I can explain it better. So it's like you want the scene where like Goku like kamehamehas and like kills the villain, right? That super epic punch where he wins, right? They're the hero, destroys the villain, right? But in order for that to exist, it requires more elements than just hit him, like next chapter, like just use the move and win. It requires more elements because you have to build up the villain so that he's someone that actually matters if he gets beaten, and you have to have it be difficult to get to that point. Otherwise, it's not. It doesn't have the same impact. It's not the same moment unless you have the moments before it. Obviously, I'm not advocating for like 70 episodes of Cell games where like nothing happens and they just like teleport around while Piccolo goes, he's so fast, while they recycle animation. But you know, after long hours winding your way through narrow barren valleys, you find an empty encampment. The feet of many servals have worn a path. They used to carry goods along this route nobody's been through for months, though. The path leads to heavy stone doors. The entrance of a underground complex is visible in the distance. Servals used to pass through it. Then they stopped. You wonder why. Ooh. Valley of Jars. I'm excited for some fucking jars, baby. Two living tools? The thing is, the more you increase your... So, I should explain. To unlock things, you need to spend these living tools. They're living lockpicks that will crawl inside the lock and try to unlock it. A certain number will break and die on your process of unlocking the lock. Depending on your mechanic skill, it'll cost X amount of living tools. Because there are a fixed number of items in this game, if you unlock too many doors too early, you will be unable to unlock certain doors later in the game. This makes me very anxious, and so I never want to use living tools. But I will, occasionally. However, I have a bunch of skill points I haven't spent, and so I think, like, oh, maybe I should put a point into mechanics, and then try to unlock it, right? So I usually try to walk around and see if there's any other things I could do before I unlock the doors, and then I typically will check what's inside, like quick save, check what's inside, and then load if I don't like it. If it's a canister, get gain 800 pounds in your own time. Yeah, do I have a record of how many canisters I've consumed? Because it should be relevant to the story, because they start to corrupt you and stuff.
Yeah, right.
I assume all...
Just, like, cracking the ground as you walk.
I assume all these abilities I got from canisters, because I don't think I've found any books this far into the game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Could that be right? Could I be 8,000 pounds right now? So let's see. If I pick this lock, what do we got? Oh, a bunch of mines.
Baka and Test, on the other hand, annoys the heck out of me. Are you talking about like the whole love triangle thing and not choosing someone? He does choose someone
In the manga.
but no, I think in the light novel,
Oh.
I don't know.
The manga doesn't even live long enough.
I don't know. I never really kept up with the manga because it just took forever to update. But the anime got canceled after like 3 seasons, I think. And or two seasons and then OVAs.
I have very, very fond memories of watching that just because I was watching them with Trisha. But
it's not the best ever, right?
I mean,
But
I would say it is, but
it's kind of nostalgic to me, yeah. And it was at like sort of peak when I'm like watching as much anime as I could be, and I'm discovering a lot of new things. I also discovered Baka and Test.
yeah, it's like super trash, right? But
Well,
when you're watching with a pretty girl,
yeah, whenever you get to the end of one of those anime where they have a love triangle or something set up and they don't finish it, they don't conclude it, girls like me, we go on a quest to
Yeah.
figure out how it officially concludes. And he does pick a girl in the light novel. I don't know if the manga ever caught up with the light novel or if that also got canceled after the anime got canceled. Who fucking knows how that whole system works, right?
this was a massive shaper supply depot. Not much of value remains. Grubby scavenging serviles have been through many times. However, your interest is captured most by things on the ground. With a sinking heart, you recognize the puffy mushroom-like creations on the floor ahead. These creations are called mines. Okay, very creative. And they are very simple. When shapers get close to them, they detect your essence, then they explode. The specimens near your feet are small. They would likely do little damage. The mines further in, though, are large and healthy. If you got near one, the burst would likely be fatal. The shaper mines are unstable and have limited lifespans. They must have been created recently, but by who? Okay, I pulled the lever. That means they're, what, disabled? Okay, interesting. Device known as a spore switch. When the handle atop is twisted just the right way, it releases spores in the air. When two spec releases different sort of spores. Using one of these devices can have unpredictable results. The spore is generally shaped into some sort of effect on nearby shaper creations. Shapers use these devices to control mechanisms for simpler, dumber creations. Let's say mines or turrets. Flip the switch, use the object again. So hopefully that disabled the mines. And what's this book? Probably not a tome? Okay, it's just like a... Oh, it gives you experience. Interesting. So... Okay. I think it used to be the wiggling would mean that they weren't armed or something. So I don't know if I want to use up all those living tools. I'm probably going to load. But... And then come back when I have like higher mechanics. Because if your mechanics is high enough, you can just open everything and you don't need to spend any tools. So that's like the temptation, right? Oh, these are turrets. Okay. I'll come back and do this another time.
Our honeydew suggests that we watch Maho-romantic, cute yet awesome. One of the few animes that does the whole story in its 24 episode run.
Yeah.
It's nice when you get a good digestible anime in there.
On the subject of like going to the manga to like figure out what happened, don't do that with Rec. That's
Oh
it.
yeah,
Don't do that.
they fucked that up super hard. You know, when
There's a special place in hell for writers like that. But anyway, I don't want to dwell on it too long. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, you know, when I first watched the original Fruits Basket anime, I didn't think it was terrible or anything. In fact, I really liked that anime when it first came out, but I was frustrated after getting to the end because there was nothing left. There was no more to watch. And I think that's the main reason why most people would be frustrated after that anime, because they had no plans for a season 2. You know, they left it open-ended because they wanted you to buy the manga. And it worked because people would buy the manga just to figure out how the heck that whole story ends. And I got roped into also like checking out the manga to figure out how that ends. Manga takes a huge different, you know, it takes a different tone after a while. And the good thing about it is that they do finish up the story. But I gotta say, looking back on it now, and after the 2019 remake and all that stuff happened, the original anime was better. It was just better written than the actual source material. There's my hot take for the night. Take that as you will.
What's better than the manga? Oh, Fruits Basket?
Yeah, I was saying that
Shit.
the original anime was better than the actual source material it came from.
This cryo is so fucking strong. No chance.
David Meyer says, in my experience, it is always whatever girl gives him all 3 aspects of a woman that they end up with. The man has to be protective over her, attracted to her, and protected by her easily. In my experience, if they ever make a choice, it's always the most bland choice that nobody likes. It's always the most background character choice that you completely forgot about or overlooked as even being an option.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't really seen that many harems that have a conclusion to begin with. But the ones that I know of that do have a conclusion, it's always like the super bland option.
Huh.
Because I think maybe the writer thinks that's the least like offensive option.
Yeah. Or like have some like secret. That would be kind of clever if it was like it's revealed that he doesn't like any of them except for this one girl. It's like, actually, we've been dating in secret the entire story.
Yeah, right. It's like, choose one of you. I'm already dating someone. What's wrong with you girls? Haven't you ever noticed that I'm like constantly on dates with my girlfriend?
It would be kind of funny. It's like, choose someone. Who are you talking to? Oh no, I'm senpai.
What?
I was senpai the whole time.
Plot twist. You were just like
Schizophrenic.
talking to yourself in a mirror while putting on multiple wigs. It's like, oh no, I was the harem.
The system.
The system.
The people that are like
Yeah.
pseudo schizophrenic.
That's good.
That's
Ultimate plot twist.
I mentioned there's tons of living tools here. I mentioned the people who like try to manifest the like, oh god, that's a cryoa.
Yep.
That's gonna be a fucking lucky. Alright.
Marshall
Oh my
added
God.
to that, he said each of the girls was a different aspect of his personality. And in the end, he had to learn to love himself.
It's pretty deep, man.
That's pretty deep, man. David Meyer says the specific anime that killed harem anime for me was Saber Marionette. They have a woman stuck in space and have to replace her with robots because spaceship loves her? Jeez. Okay. That took a turn. I didn't expect it to go in that direction. 3 had to die to free the human female. Ruined the whole genre for me. Yeah, that's quite something.
So Cryoas are the stronger version of a Fiora. They obviously are ice rather than fire. And it's harder to make them. Like, I can't make them yet. But there's one over there that if I had high enough leadership, I could convince it to come with me. That's like, that would be advantageous. The question is, of course, like, how much leadership do I need? But if I'm gonna get it, I should have like kind of already gotten it, right? I don't know how well that thing is like shaped. I know like your shaping skill has a ton to do with how strong the creatures are gonna be. Do I want to tame a creature that already exists? I don't know. Let me just like see what this looks like. I just like max out my leadership and talk to this lad.
Well, hello there.
Hello there. Let me have what you're holding. Drops the treasure. You're going to need to return to your master because as you're confused, she's your stand at your meeting. Means kids and concentrate under your training. The mental picture of your intention. Chris hisses quietly and makes a sort of shrugging motion. You've managed to calm it down. It leaves. Okay, so you get 35 experience for the 2 past checks, but you can't have that as a follower. But there's no shaper that's made this thing, I don't think. Getting through there, I don't know. I guess I'll talk to Elra. Oh, I guess we should probably
Wrap up the stream soon?
Yes.
Yeah. That would make sense since we are approaching midnight.
Let's do that, because I think we've cleared the area. Next thing to do is, like, this is the leader of the loyalist group of serviles, and he's probably going to unlock that door over there so that I can go here. Go, like, right out of here. Oh, no, sorry, right out of here. Otherwise, these 2 places, they seem like they're tangential. Like, I don't think they lead anywhere. Obviously, it looks like this leads here, but there's a dead end, and the only way through is, like, this crazy cave system that requires a shit ton of living tools. There's no way, even if someone maxed out mechanics, that they could... Or maybe if they maxed out mechanics, they could get through that area, so... would I like to save game before I... Yeah, let's just put a save here. That'll be easy to remember which one it is. Now,
Yes, book 1. Now funding on Indiegogo. If you haven't checked it out, please do your due diligence and check it out already. Come on, do it. Peer pressure. Do it.
yeah. Yeah, I would say it's harem's no good. I would say like I can't remember any like real fan service in Sword Art Online. When they finally fucked, it felt like a logical progression of a relationship.
That's good.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of like, I don't know. I don't know if I would give Sword Art Online like a total pass for all of its writing.
Right. There has been a surge recently for like very wholesome romance anime coming out. And the ongoing theory is that's the Japanese government helping fund those types of anime to promote the citizens to go out and get married and have kids and stuff.
The other thing though is like, I suppose that's like maybe a more cynical theory. Although it would be good if they were doing that. I think part of it is that like Japanese people understand what's good for their country and act accordingly, whereas Americans understand what's good for their country and some act antithetical to that. Like
a lot of contrarians and spiteful people out there.
Yeah, like spiteful mutants and people who want the world to end. Like
I want to do people who are like, everyone's evil and we should all just die.
And like someone will talk about like, oh, how this should be allowed or that should be allowed, and then like you lay out a scenario where it caused like catastrophic failure of society, and then they're like, good.
Yeah, right.
And
exactly.
So none of their intentions are good for like.
They don't have your best interests in mind.
These are also like insane people I met at school, right? We just have like an abundance of like, I don't know what to call them, but I saw that heat map thing that was going around with the bug posting, where it's like liberals, like the heat map of where they empathize. There's a large percentage that will empathize with rocks in space before they empathize with even mammals. So like they empathize as far away from humans as possible, especially not with their immediate family or their immediate friends.
And that's also why you get these environmentalist protesters like going out of their way to ruin people's day for the environment, in quotes, because they're empathizing more with the earth that we're supposedly hurting, you know?
I was still on Facebook when I witnessed people go post things about how much they hate men that have friends.
Oh, wow.
Because like, oh, men with friends will believe their friend over a woman, and it's like, yeah, they should. That's why you're a friend with them. If it's someone that you can't believe, someone that's not trustworthy, you shouldn't have them as a friend, right?
Basically.
If it is a man who would like attack a woman, you probably shouldn't be friends with them. This is probably an indicator that they're not a reliable, good person that will like be good for your life.
Yeah, you want people around you who also want the best for you.
And like in reality, it's like such a terrible thing to look for as a man without friends, because I mean, I certainly have had like a run of bad luck like finding good friends, but
yeah, same.
There's plenty of people that don't have any friends for a reason. Like I have this friend, and like he was part of a friends group who kicked out this one guy because he wanted to go after and like sex pest any girl that any guy like hinted they were interested in. Like he would like obsessively like harass them and beg them to have sex with him so that he could get there first. And it's like that's someone who should die, right? Like in a polite society, that's not worthy of being killed. But like, let's all be honest for a minute. That man, if you can call him a man, deserves to die, right? Like in a real just world, you would take his head and smash it with a rock until it was flat against another rock, right?
Jesus.
Let's be real. If you,
it's a very bad man.
If you like the girl, can we I can't really pull the chat with that. I think that's against TOS, but blink if you agree that if you had a friend who anytime you mentioned you were interested in a girl, or if you smiled at a girl or or flirted with a random girl on your first meeting, would then follow around this girl at parties trying to get her drunk and begging her to have sex with him, if that guy should perhaps be best suited to be shoved into a cannon, have all his legs like broken by the hammer, the cannon loading stick, and then just fired into a gore confetti spree.
It's like the sharing of the ice cream. Get your own ice cream.
Yeah, why do I make friends with guys and then catch them stealing my girlfriend's panties or talking about feet? Oh, God damn.
Jeez.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Crows before hoes.
That's when I found out harem animes are at least normal. Looking at you, mysterious girlfriend X. Yeah.
Well, that one particular anime
Yeah.
is just like fucking crazy.
Yeah. I guess it does have that going for it. It is at least monogamous.
Yeah, I guess that's something.
So bizarre. But
It is bizarre, especially because like if you take out the drool, it would function as a normal romance.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah,
just,
but they don't-
Had
but
couldn't
yeah.
help themselves. They had to have their fetish in there.
Whoever made
It's
the sound
whole thing
effect,
that we were talking about before.
whoever made the sound effect should probably be in prison. Like, it's so disgusting.
Yeah, the slurping.
But yeah. Anyway, not this is to say like it's not like I don't think things are hopeless at all. Like I think like you could very easily have a situation just like Japan where like people know what's good for the country and then want to do what's good for the country. I think that's like a pretty normal instinct that people could very easily embrace without being like paid by the government or whatever. And I think people do know that like certain stuff is good for the country and other stuff is bad for the country. And even if they're like it doesn't matter what's good for the country or the world, I just want diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like even if those people exist, there's still people broadly still know what is good and want to choose it, even if like other people are psycho like nihilist entropists or whatever, just trying to destroy the world. I think there's still like a formidable force for good out there.
Of course.
And I also see there's a lot of like people on the left that are like screeching and screeching and screeching, and that's how you know they're dying. It's like it's like
We are so back.
yeah, we're so back. I keep on seeing these like posts people share of like people just having these like anxiety attacks because the world is crumbling around them or whatever, according to them. And it's like, I don't know, they'll post something like super insane and then they'll be like, it's like, oh, what do we do? No. And it's like, I guess you just burn in the sunlight like the fucking demon that you are. It's like, oh, I can't stand it. People are posting pictures of like happy families. My niece, she said she can't wait to find a husband. No.
Oh man.
It's like, yeah, it's like people calling for bans on podcasts because they're corrupting people. Yeah, it's anyway. And the first time we had Gamergate, it like red pilled an entire generation. Now we have another Gamergate with like Sweet Baby Inc.
Gamergate 2.0, they're
This
calling
is-
it. Yeah.
First of all, can I just say, because everyone was shying away from this, Zoe Quinn is a fucking whore.
No, everybody knows
It's
that.
like, I don't know why, like, whenever it gets discussed, people are like, oh, well, it's none of my business. Like, you can still have an opinion. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a piece of shit for cheating on his wife. This is not a, like, a...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, you shouldn't do that. And I am a public figure, private figure. I'm more than welcome to have disdain for people who do that. It's not...
You shouldn't cheat.
Yeah, it's not good or right or whatever. It's like it really, yeah. Anyway, but now the new Gamergate is probably gonna red pill another generation that's already like red pilled. Like the generation coming up seems to be like extremely aggressively like against woke stuff.
Especially boys, because they've been hit so hard with the feminist movement.
Yeah.
Like really hard.
There was that statistic. It was like 87% of like 18-year-old boys are
yeah, it's really high.
describe themselves as right wing. So anyway, those are voters now.
I don't blame them. Because feminist movement is like really fucked up right now.
It's also like you're not even allowed to like women if you're a male feminist. Like there was,
Yeah.
I just remember this the whole thing with like holding open doors and like the whole thing where it's like if you're too nice to your girlfriend too early, it's considered love bombing, and it's like what even like what the fuck does that mean?
It's making up new terms and then pretending like it's a problem.
Like I made that video and I feel like I encompassed a lot of the stuff that I witnessed, but like one of the things I mentioned in that video was like the blue hair and the normal couple. This girl, like I held open the door for, it was this awkward interaction where I held open the door and then I didn't realize, but it was like a fucking feminist. So what the thing you're supposed to do is, I guess, just like close the door behind you. Like it's like this very tense situation. If you hold open the door for someone, they'll remember and they'll like try to get back at you for holding open the door. Like they'll like glare at you and you'll see them watching you and stuff, and it's like a fucking, yeah, it's a whole situation. It's like but I held open the door for this girl and she's got blue hair and I was like, oh fuck. And then she goes like and then I go, oh, happy Valentine's Day, because it happened to be Valentine's Day, and she's like, yeah, happy Valentine's Day. And she's like, I mean, happy Love Bombing Awareness Day. And I was like, whoa,
Happy Love Bombing Day.
Okay. I think and then she followed up by saying, oh, and Singles Awareness Day. And I was like, oh, okay, all right.
I didn't realize you were so pathetic.
But yeah, like it's like a terrible system. She had a roommate who was in a normal fucking relationship with a normal fucking guy, and she was like, she like didn't like it. She was like I talk about this in the video a little bit, like in like more coherent detail, but I remember she wanted her roommate to like dump him and go with her to go buy a vibrator or dildo or something, and she was like, no, I don't really want to do that. That sounds a little weird.
That sounds a little strange. As far as advice I've been given.
Do you imagine how fucking pathetic a dude friend would be? Like if he was like constantly pressuring you to go buy fleshlights with him. Like if he was like, come on, bro. Like, what are you, like, not a manonist? You don't want a you don't want a fleshlight? They have an avatar.
You don't want the sex robots?
You have there's an avatar themed fleshlight now. Are you some kind of
AI-generated dialogue?
Are you some kind of space racist? You don't want a avatar?
Oh my goodness. What's chat saying?
Guys are going right, but women are going farther left. Not by that. Not really.
I think what it is first of all, like, young girls are much more vulnerable to left-leaning politics, and a part of it is that women tend to be more creative, and in the creative field, they really push the idea that you cannot be creative and right-wing at the same time. Like, the right wants to, like, censor everything you do and, like, put you down and blah blah blah, whatever.
Just like fucking ridiculous. But I don't know if I know there. I think I did see some statistic about women bending slightly further left, but like by a few percentage points.
They also are more likely to lean more right as they age, though.
Yeah, this is true. Of course,
like, swing back.
The issue is, if a girl is convinced by her therapist that the right thing to do is to have sex with men until she can no longer feel a emotional connection to another man.
Yeah, that's obviously a big problem.
Then it's too late.
It's too late,
If a girl goes and whores around, she can't get with a conservative guy. A conservative guy won't take her. So it's
like they're sabotaging their lives.
Right.
By, like, trying to convince them to do this type of shit.
And, like, putting ideas in their head that, like, make them unhappy. So that's, like, the risk. But I just, like, anecdotally, I just see a lot more women are like, they're like, I want to have a happy family, and it's like, wow, what a rebel. Like, it's like considered like but there's more people that are like openly for that, and there's more like social media influencers that are like promoting that. And so it just doesn't feel like there actually are more women leaning left. But it kind of does
certainly a lot of women getting rude awakenings after, like,
yeah, there's a lot of that.
All the OnlyFans girls, they do the OnlyFans things. They don't make any money because only, like, the top whatever percentage makes any good money on OnlyFans, and then it's just like they decide they want to like settle down and have a family, but nobody wants to date an OnlyFans
So
girl.
it's always funny when you see the whatever podcast where someone's like really cocky, like, oh, I only do it with my like husband or whatever, which like theoretically and like in my head I'm like, oh, I guess that's fine. But then they'll come back and they'll be single and it'll be like, oh wow, that was like 2 weeks, huh? And like it's what do you like you thought it was, I don't know. They're like they come on really cocky and they're like, I'm investing my money, and then they have like no money, and then they have to like go on the whatever podcast to like shill their tits, I guess, and like talk about how their life choices are
and
terrible.
there's like a bunch of girls from the whatever podcast that ended up swinging right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, they eventually are more likely to swing backward. I guess because they figure it out.
Also,
that, like they went too far to the extreme.
Also, like, people that are, like, super far left don't have kids, so they don't really... And their grip on, like, the education system and everything is, like, waning, so it's not, like... I don't know. I'm very optimistic for the future.
Yeah, I like to try to stay optimistic, rather than being all doomer gloomer.
And I think, like... I think people have a tremendous ability to, like, make the world a better place, as long as they kind of understand how. And I think, like... For a long time, like, you know, you can see how, like, well-meaning boomers are and how, like, goddamn, like, uninformed they are about, like, what's good and stuff. Like, my dad was like, oh, that'll be great having a burger entirely consisting of bacteria.
What?
That's a new product to stop you from having to have meat, is a bacteria-based burger.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah. And wouldn't you know it?
Literally
It causes, like, super severe blood cancer.
Of course!
So
You're not supposed to eat the bacteria.
I once asked a feminist friend why she's allowed to have all these icks, but dudes aren't allowed to not like really obese chicks. She just got angry and changed the subject.
That sounds about right.
I did have coworkers that tried to get me to go to strip clubs with them. SMH, no interest on my part. Apparently not a man, because I said no. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess a strip club is, like, different, but, yeah. Look, he's trying to get me dating in his own way. Couldn't fathom. That's not how I view women. Yeah. I mean, I kind of, to some extent, I kind of get the strip club thing, but at the same time, it's like, it's just weird, right? Like, I went to my brother's bachelor party, and essentially, like, his bachelor party. Okay, I didn't go to it. I was theoretically organizing it, right? But like,
oh yeah, and then they wanted to just like ditch.
I got
and go to a strip club.
So I got the house, I got the activities and everything, and then everybody's like, "All right, so it's Brian's bachelor party, but you know, Brian said he didn't want to go to strip clubs, so that's fine."
Mind if we?
So we were all just gonna go down to the strip club, but we found. But you gonna be okay here? And he's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, just don't involve me.
I remember hearing about that, and I remember thinking, man, that's so fucking weird. They just want an excuse to go to a strip club? It's not even about the party.
To be fair, like, one guy stayed.
Okay.
But everybody but me, my brother, and that one guy who fell asleep on the couch all went. And it was like 14 people at that party or something.
That's so weird.
So it was like a shit ton of people. It was like 2 cars full of guys, like, went to the strip club. And it was so fucking weird, but I don't know. I mean,
like, imagine going there and being like, "Hey, bachelor party," and they're like, "Who's the bachelor?" Like, he's not here. He didn't want to come because he's getting married.
My brother has a single principled friend who isn't like a total piece of shit.
That's good to hear.
Just one, though.
Yeah, he should have more of those.
Right, but it's also like the one that his technically his wife likes the least.
Oh, of course.
So it's like, but he's the only one that's a good person out of all the people he knows. He's the only one who hasn't fucked anyone else's girlfriend in the group or wife or whatever. And it's like,
Jesus.
It's so weird to have a guy who has like kids like talking to another guy who's like fucked his wife before they got married. It's like, it's so fucking weird. To like his friends are like the bottom dregs of society, and like one of them came back from the strip club and had he went to the back room and then came out all sweaty, and they were like, why were you so sweaty? And he was like, don't talk about it, man. And it's like,
Oh my god.
just so, and like he left his phone with us because his wife tracks the GPS on his phone, and it's like, I guess she should. And it's like he has like the bottom dregs of men, like the least it's like the high value male is like the thing they talk about. It's like the lowest value
the
men.
Broken society. It's like an episode of fucking Jerry Springer. This whole group of people.
Yeah, they're all like just the lowest trash.
Yeah, that's horrible. How are all these people friends? I have no idea. I've never even met these people. I've only heard tale of them.
What, you don't like a bacteria burger, Marshall? I don't know. I don't know. I think they know each other more than they know him. Like, I think it's like the group of friends spread from like one friend into a lot of people. They're all Hispanic, so they all kind of, I suppose, have that connection together.
Interesting.
But like,
Okay.
Obviously we're not, so it's kind of an odd sort of.
Just a very large group of Hispanic friends.
Yeah. So, but one guy, not Hispanic, Polish, went to the strip club, and he was like very adamant, like it has nothing to do with sex. It's just fun. It's like nothing to do with like sexual attraction. And he was like his girlfriend was like totally cool with him going and whatever. And he was like his girlfriend like video chats him all the time, and he's like, I'll video chat you after I get back from the strip club or whatever. So then he's like talking to her afterwards. And he's like telling her about the strip club and stuff, just like he was telling me, and it's like, you know, it's like
It's a little weird, but
well, I was gonna say, like, his favorite story was like this fat girl came up and then was like, hey, you want to play a game? And they're like, no, please, no. And then she gets on the table and then puts in her ass a basketball hoop thing, and then like, I think she like, I don't understand the biomechanics, but she like, somehow they were playing basketball or something, or with the dollars, but she was like upside down or something like that. I don't really remember exactly how this was supposed to function, but anyway, yeah, she had like equipment to like plug in different stuff in there. It locked in, you know?
Oh yeah, okay.
And that was like part of her thing, and he was like super entertained by that, and he was telling his girlfriend about that, and like she was laughing probably just because.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It was like a whole like, but so I can kind of understand the strip club thing to some extent. Like, some guys are just like, this is super fun, but I don't know. I think, but it is pretty, like, it is pretty comparable to the guy trying to pressure you to go buy a fleshlight or a melon to microwave or something.
Oh god.
Also, sometimes when people are really like, how are all these people friends? Another answer to that is like, sometimes when people are just like the lowest like trash, it's just like they don't have other options for friends.
Yeah.
So, and like,
that's true.
a lot of them have very intensely unlikable traits. So some of that is like related to, it's like other people wouldn't be friends with them, so they kind of are sort of locked into this sort of like situation.
Especially not very like confident people. They end up having like the shittiest friends because they just figure that's the best they can do.
Oh.
Anyway, we should be wrapping up stream, you know.
The relationship was about buying Happy Meals and going fun places. It was fine, but her child got old enough to tell the dad about our dates. That's when we fell apart. It's an interesting thing. There's like a lot of, man. There's a lot of like, you know, what do you call it? Passing ships in the harbor kind of thing. They're kind of fascinating. You honestly, though, that whole genre has like been overexposed to me by like writing class, because like, wouldn't you know it, writers find the passing ship in the harbor thing to be like so goddamn fascinating that it shows up in like everyone's short stories, and
Sure.
but it is kind of like interesting in a way. But probably more interesting is like cutting a dragon's head off with a gigantic sword. Not gonna lie.
Some classic fantasy, like you'll find in Reaper Book 1.
Yeah, there's no dragons, but you know.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. You sad, but I'm glad it happened to me. You do learn a lot from like interactions like that. Anyway, party's over, but after party is on Gilded. Woo! I'll be up all night writing, so if you want to chitty chat some more, I'll be there. However, Trisha's got to sleep before she collapses onto the floor.
Correct.
I recognize we have talked about some bummer stuff towards the end of the stream, but I have nothing for you. No happy stories. Probably
Happy Stories campaign.
Happy Stories campaign.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't have a happy sentiment to end on. I think I said some happy stuff before.
Stuff's getting better. We
are
so back, meme.
Yeah, we are so back. I've seen a lot of like stuff like that, people screeching and whatnot. Maybe I'll throw some of that in the Gilded or something. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Really do appreciate it. Thanks so much for checking out my favorite old game. I don't know if we'll continue this or if we'll go back to Daggerfall. Probably go back to Daggerfall. Try to finish that run. Or maybe play something entirely different. I just wanted to give you guys a peek into my like earliest inspiration and that world that I'm so fascinated by. The lore and stuff is so interesting. I would have done much more interesting things with it. I must I'm like maxing out the mic. Let me lower that a little bit. I would have done much more interesting things with the world, but I don't know. Anyway, maybe one day I'll write like a biopunk medieval fantasy thing, and I'll get to play with my own little concepts of that. But anyway, see you guys on Gilded if you want to keep chatting. But for now, a good night, and you're all great, fantastic, wonderful.